Welcome in.
I didn't know.
On a solemn day for my guy over here.
What?
You motherfucker, I'm talking about you.
I'm fine.
You looking real sad. You've been
I'm watching the
salty
game.
all day.
I'm not salty.
Since what?
To
The
put
start
it
of
in
3
perspective,
p.m.?
the exact same things I said he also said, but he didn't get
All
called out for it.
rise!
Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing this. Hold on.
No,
I'll stand. Hold on.
I will be salty on this. Fuck that.
Get it going.
All right. We gotta stand
Who
for it.
knows their fight
Take
song?
your caps
This
off.
isn't fucking
Take
college.
your fucking caps off, boys. Hand over the heart.
I remember y'all.
Respect this fucking team.
I remember y'all used to make fun of the band team.
I'm picking them to lose. No Super Bowl.
They fucking should.
Everyone shed a tear for Brock Purdy.
That bitch's elbow was fucked from the beginning.
This man is happy about somebody getting hurt.
All right.
These motherfuckers suck.
Oh.
I hope Mahomes throws 500 yards on y'all.
Game's not over.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't make them.
We're in the middle of championship week, conference championship week. Currently, the Chiefs and the Bengals are tied 13-13 with 6.5 minutes left in the third. We will be covering that game. We're going to start out with a bunch of NBA shit. Then we're going to talk about the best team in the NFL.
Oh my god.
We're going to have some NFL news, catching up on the NFL news. And we're also going to talk about our top 5 quarterbacks in each conference. Guys, we would start our franchise, moving forward with our franchise.
So not necessarily the best quarterback, but the best one if you were starting a franchise today.
Yes, so the guys that we would want on our team moving forward for our franchise. So, to get started, we're going to talk about 4 games in the NBA just to kind of touch on like the teams we want to talk about. We're going to start out with the battle for the best centers in the NBA. 2 best centers in the NBA for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
We just did this fucking list for all
they're definitely
NBA
the
teams.
2 best.
Yeah. So
I
we
think
got Denver going to Philadelphia. They lose 119 and 126. Embiid scores 47 in the matchup. Jokic gets a solid 24 points. Did he have a triple-double? I'm about to go look.
I think it was damn close.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
38, 8 rebounds, 9 assists.
Got a lot of help from
almost
his starting lineup as
24
well.
points. Not 38.
Got 20 from Michael Porter, and he also got 22 from Jamal Murray. I mean,
They led almost this entire game
yeah,
and just pissed away a pretty large lead as well
yeah.
here at the end for the Sixers to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Led by
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid, the second best center in the league.
He had 47 in this game. 18 rebounds.
18 rebounds is crazy.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
5
that's a crazy
assists, I mean,
stat.
which is kind of rare for him, I guess, like getting that many. I mean, he's kind of the ball hog on this team. James Harden was okay. He had 13 assists, though, which is kind of cool. Maxey coming off the bench is, I mean, that was weird whenever they decided to, do that for the Sixers. I feel like Maxey should be in the starting lineup, but he's kind of smaller. So I
They
get
don't
why
have
they're-
any scoring coming off the bench.
Yeah.
That's
So I
the
get why they're
problem.
doing it.
Is their fucking bench is kind of bull.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of him, I mean, George Niang had 14, but they had 6 points off from their bench.
They've got a pretty tall lineup, if you think about it. Because, like,
got a
Embiid's,
really
what,
tall-
7'2". You got fucking Tobias Harris. He's sitting, what, like 6'8".
I keep thinking Tobias Harris is going to be good.
I mean, he's average as fuck.
He is.
His contract was ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
know.
pretty
PJ
high.
Tucker being on this team, though, it kind of...
that's the problem.
He's pretty aight.
He's pretty all right. James Harden's been kind of in a rhythm. I feel like he's running the offense pretty well. He had no turnovers in this game.
I mean, that's what you bring him here to do.
Yeah.
Is run the offense.
I don't know, man. For me, the Sixers, they have the best. They're what, second in the East right now behind the Celtics. They're sitting at
Celtics are still what, number 1? In
yeah, I think they're ahead by
the
like 3
NBA.
games. They're like 35 and 12 or something like that.
They should be number 1 in the NBA still, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly.
Denver's
Yeah.
sitting at
2
34 and
games back.
16 after this loss. Philadelphia's got 2 less wins than Denver, but they played like 2 less games as well. So to me, if you're talking about MVP, it's pretty close between these guys. Embiid didn't even make the All-Star team.
No, he didn't.
He
was
wasn't
not
a starter.
He didn't
That's
make a
what it was.
starter, yes.
Yeah, who made it over him? I mean, we're going to talk about the All-Star week. I just I don't know. I'm confused on that a tad bit. They shot 50% from the field, from the 3-point line. By the way, the Sixers did.
That's how you. I mean, that's how you win games. So it was
Yeah.
Durant, Irving, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, and Tatum.
So they don't really have a center. They're gonna run Giannis at center.
Yeah, I mean that's a smaller lineup. I guess. Well, not really, because Simmons is what 6'10".
Where do you hear Simmons?
Yeah, Simmons.
I thought you said Simmons. What?
Hell no.
Don-
You think
This is
Simmons
all
made that
star
game?
I was gonna say,
game.
yeah, he shouldn't have made the fucking All-Star
Donovan
team.
Yeah,
Mitchell,
Donovan Mitchell.
I got him and Mitchell. mixed
Donovan
up, I
Mitchell,
think.
Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Giannis, and Jason.
Man, Jason Tatum's what 6'10".
6.
He's
9,
big as fuck
probably.
too. I mean, they've got a lot of wing.
I don't know.
They've got
I
a lot
don't
of
think
wing.
he's. I
They're
thought
a
he
big
was
player. Yeah, he's a
kinda
big player.
I'm not sure, but you're wrong. Is what that was.
Yeah,
No, I thought he was like 6'8". I thought he was like something like that.
I don't know. I mean, we can look it up whenever we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, talking about Denver's side, obviously they're getting a lot of scoring from their starters, obviously, and Jokic is still playing well. He didn't have a triple double.
No, it was
No,
right
it was
there.
right
though.
there.
Yeah, he was close. I mean,
Yeah.
7 turnovers though.
6-8.
That's probably what it
Was
was. He contributed to like bad offensive play in terms of efficiency, but no scoring on their bench, like Anthony said. You guys have any other takeaways on this game? I feel like Aaron Gordon's underrated. He's played really well this year.
He has played well.
Yeah, he shot 8 of 10 from the field.
I don't know.
I think he's gonna fall into the same role as like Wiggins, where he is thriving, being the 4th best player on a team.
Yeah.
That also is just
but
comes
it's-
in, plays a good role.
Like
he's gonna do really well.
He's to
with
the
that.
level
I
where
don't
like
know,
he can have
dude.
star level
I don't
play.
necessarily agree with that because the Warriors don't win that championship without Wiggins. He was arguably easily their 2nd best player last
Are
year.
you all arguing for Denver to be in a title game or like in the
Yeah.
finals though?
That's
You
what
you think
Denver.
they're-
That's the echelon of team that
Are
Denver
they that good within the West?
should be. They're number 1 in the West.
I know, but like
What do you mean?
we've seen this with Utah.
They've been in
We've
the
seen this with Utah and fucking Toronto. You know what I mean? They haven't hit that level yet for me.
Toronto when they were. But if we're talking about comparative,
With Jamal
Toronto,
Murray back, they probably could because
that
they
was
lo-
the thing.
Yeah,
but they
lost
were
him.
still a top team in the West
Yeah.
last year without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr.
I mean, they were what 6th
last year
at the lowest, I think.
something like that. But
Yeah.
they're number 1 now. Denver is that echelon of team.
Yeah.
Denver can win a championship.
I would hope so, considering they've had the back-to-back MVP on their team, and he's looking pretty good for another.
If they could just stay healthy, that's what it is. I mean, when you lose your point guard and Michael Porter Jr., who you drafted high, expecting to be a great player, when he plays, he is really good.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jamal Murray. But
Well, Jamal Murray, I mean, he was in the argument for like one of the top 10 point guards in the NBA at the time.
Before he got hurt,
Yeah, before he
yeah.
got hurt. And they got paid a bag, So, for me, this doesn't really, and it's not an indictment on Denver at all. I just think that the Sixers, they're playing really well right now, and obviously you got a motivated Joel Embiid to go out and kind of prove that he's
it's crazy. He's motivated to
pretty
be
great.
2nd best.
okay. Well, whatever. I mean, I would give Philly a better shot to win the Eastern Finals than I would give Denver the Western Finals.
Get the fuck out of here. Denver's way ahead of them. You realize the next closest person? No, I literally just had this pulled up. No.
You got Sacramento and then
Yeah, and Sacramento, I'm pretty sure, is 6 games back in the league. It's fucking ridiculous how far Denver is.
okay, the East is far better than the West right now. They're top.
I'm
the
not
West is
arguing
top
that.
heavy as fuck. Yeah,
You're kind of
So the Grizzlies are 2.5 games back at the 2 seed.
I do like the Grizzlies a
but
lot. They're
the
young,
Kings,
though. That's the thing.
the Kings are 6 games back. So there's a huge jump between the top, and Denver is leading it on top of being 2 games back from the NBA league.
With the finals experience of like the Clippers, even they haven't
We
been in the
don't have
finals, but
finals.
you have Kawhi who's been in a finals and has been in like a finals MVP. Do you think
What do
that
you
he
do
has
against?
a better
What do we do against that man though? And am I willing to bet that Kawhi
against
and Paul
Jokic?
George are Kawhi and Paul George going to play enough to make us there?
I would
Like,
think I would say so in the playoffs. That's whenever they're going to be at their best.
but
should.
They're load managing through the
should.
We always
That's
say
the
this.
thing.
well, they're load managing through the regular season.
And Paul George played great, so any other Paul George played great in last year's playoffs, so any more help will
ball.
help.
Yeah.
But I want to see it. I'm not going to sit here and say that Denver's clearly not the second best
they're
team
the best
in
team.
the
They're the
NBA
best team
right
in the
now.
West right now. Like, I just don't.
And
I don't
Jokic
necessarily
is the
trust
best
it.
player on
Yeah.
the second best team.
I think that whoever wins the East is going to win the title. Like just based off of how it's been recently. Like even
we'll see. I mean,
with the Bucks,
they said the same thing last year, and then the Warriors come out of nowhere and do what they did to the Celtics.
Not in the conversation right now, though.
Yeah, but they weren't in the conversation last year until they put themselves in the conversation.
That's what I think the Clippers are. There's another team we're going to talk about on this list that I think have a shot of being a record in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But since we are talking about the Clippers, let's go to their game. They played Atlanta last night. They won 120 to 113 on the road.
Atlanta is
Clippers are sitting at 28-24.
I told you they were going to suck.
They're going to suck by their standard.
The Hawks.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
I've been a Hawks hater.
Yeah.
Even though I love DeJounte.
Well, they're
21 and 21. We're even now.
What are you talking about? Y'all are 28 and 24.
I don't know if that's true, bro.
It is. I'm looking at it.
Is it?
Yeah. The Hawks are 25 and 25.
Then these aren't updated.
Yeah, they're not updated.
ESPN, get your shit together.
Yeah, I mean, we know what's going to come from the Hawks production. You're getting Trae Young scoring 30 a night, having fucking almost,
Yeah, Clint Capella's going to have your double-digit rebounds, and
Trae Young.
It's crazy you scored 31 points and your plus minus is even.
Yeah,
he's a defensive liability.
It's crazy that Trae Young sucks and he's been farther.
Is that DeJounte Murray? He plays for the Hawks, right?
Come on now. Come on.
I'm just saying.
I still want a Luka Hawks jersey.
I would. If the Luke, no. I just don't think trade. They were talking about trading him earlier in the season.
I know, I saw that too.
And I was like, that's like.
I mean, what kind of compensation do you get for Trae Young at this point?
It should be a lot.
But my thing is he a game breaker?
Really
is he a game breaker on a team that's close? Like where, and this is the perfect situation.
Do you think
Clippers,
the Mavericks could go
because we don't?
Because they need a guard. I feel like they need another scorer.
No, you don't need anybody that's gonna request the ball more than you want. Somebody that like you almost like, and I know this is goofy to say because he fits in on every team in the NBA, but you almost want someone like Kevin Durant where he can just come in. He's not going to over ask for the ball. Luka can still do his thing.
Okay, I get what
but
you're saying.
when he gets the ball, he's going to give you 30.
Tim Hardaway is like guys that can shoot.
But they don't. But Tim Hardaway isn't of that level. Whereas,
as a
like
scorer,
what the Mavericks need to break free is a true number two. It's like
a true scoring player that doesn't need the ball in his hand.
Yeah,
like Giannis,
like someone who is
fucking,
an efficient scorer.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. Is someone who is an elite scorer efficiently,
Giannis
which is hard
Embiid,
to do. But we're also talking about the best players. I don't even want to say that. I want to say somebody of the level of like a DeRozan, somebody like that could push them over the top, even further because DeRozan's efficient. I mean, people don't give him as much credit as he deserves. He definitely carries the ball down the court
quite a bit, though. It's not like he doesn't have the ball in his hands whenever he does score. Like he drives with the ball.
So I don't necessarily agree. I think that scoring wise, they seem fine.
Yeah,
they seem like they're pretty good in that aspect, especially
double digits from everybody in the starting lineup.
Yeah. So what I think more is that you want a perimeter defense of player beside him, and that's why I thought DeJounte was going to be such a good addition.
You want to know what
you want that perimeter defense around him that can score efficiently, like you said, but doesn't need to put up like
Hunter's.
Doesn't need to put up like something crazy. I would say Clay.
Yeah, somebody like, but that is like the level. That's kind of the level I see DeRozan as. Mm-hmm. It's like if he was on a team of like the Warriors, where like I think DeRozan could be Lakers.
Imagine
the Lakers make that trade instead of doing what they did and getting Westbrook.
Like them
people like
Jimmy
that.
Butler
Somebody who you know is like Jimmy kind of demands the ball more. Jimmy's more, and plus Jimmy is not afraid to challenge.
He's clutch as fuck.
So if Luka's doing something, that's the problem, and that's the but the whole point I was saying that is, do we think that Trae is this player? I don't think so.
Trae's really good.
He's really good,
reminds me a lot
but he's inefficient. He's really inefficient.
He's like a career-long Isaiah Thomas with the
Now
Celtics.
that's exactly where I was getting at. Trey Lance reminds me a lot of that team. Trae Young reminds me a lot of that team where Isaiah led them.
Yeah.
Is your best player can't be someone who is defensively one of the worst players in the league and really doesn't do anything. He doesn't excel at anything higher than anybody else in the league.
I mean, you see Kyrie, he's kind of like Well, he's good at perimeter defense, but whenever he gets any drive on him, it's
Kyrie is good because he'll stick his hand in and get steals. That's where Kyrie, because that was where Kyrie fits so good in with LeBron. Yeah. Is LeBron's guarding on ball, and then you've got Kyrie, and that's how
Kyrie is a fucking like in terms of the level of like facilitator, like offensive, like general man, like floor general. He's just far better.
Yeah, I don't know what you. It's hard for the Hawks because I don't know what you do in the situation because no team.
I don't think they're any contender in the East. They haven't been since Trey got there. Them fucking trading for Trey over Luka, I feel like was a big mistake. I mean, that's what the conversation was during that draft. It was Trey first because they traded for Luka, who was drafted first from the Hawks. The Mavs wanted him, so why not? And they're in a far better spot. They got an MVP.
I think they're in a weird spot because they're too good to get a bad pick, but they're not good enough to make the playoffs. They're not good enough to do anything. And then if you do try to trade Trey, what do you do? Because I'm looking at it from a sense of like the Clippers. We get a point guard of even Trey's level that breaks the West wide open.
Yeah.
But do I consider Trey that person? As fucked up as that is to say, because I'm saying a level of the output that he can put out.
Yeah.
But do I believe that Trey going there breaks it
Let's
open?
talk about the Clippers because, I mean, that's the team they played, obviously. But whenever we look at the opposite side of the spectrum, we've got two, like, elite level defenders on the wing. You've got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They can pretty much lock down the perimeter.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I would like to see Kawhi do it because he doesn't seem like the defensive player he used to be. Yeah. But that's just through injury and stuff. I didn't say the same thing about Paul George. Paul George clearly isn't the player he was.
You'll see that effort show up in the playoffs when it matters the most. That's what Kawhi Leonard is.
But I've also seen the effort, and then we lose to the Mavericks. I've also seen the effort. The next year we beat the Mavericks, and then we lose in the next round.
That level of collapse is kind of like... you can't really do anything about Luka going.
Like I love Kawhi, I love Paul George, but I'm getting like it's been 5 years now.
Yeah,
like we can't keep holding. Like I don't, not with the way that the team is constructed. The bench is good.
Yeah,
we get a player that's just gonna play all the games. Like even switch Kawhi with LeBron, and I don't like doing that because it's LeBron James. But it's like. I'm not saying trade it, but I'm saying like you switch it and you give us the production that LeBron does game in, game out.
Well, LeBron's playing better than Kawhi right now.
Yeah.
And he's playing the games.
But Kawhi
Kawhi hasn't had the injury linger the way LeBron has had an injury at the beginning of the season. Kawhi's just slow managing.
No, Kawhi last year was out all year.
I'm talking about this season. Though. Like this year, he's not playing any back-to-backs. He won't go on the road like a lot of the time, and they're still above 500 in the West. Like you have a shot to make it to the finals in the West with this team if they're low managing.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine if we're getting the production consistently.
Yeah, like say you all because John Wall hasn't been back for you all.
John Wall hasn't played.
So imagine him coming off the bench. He could be like. On the level of Westbrook,
bench is fine.
Yeah.
The problem is
imagine how much better the scoring would be on the bench if John Wall's there. Kind of like what Westbrook does.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if John Wall right now is the level of player that Reggie Jackson is. Reggie Jackson's a baller, dude. Yeah. Look at Reggie Jackson in the playoffs.
He had 16 in this
Look
game.
at Reggie against the Lakers. I mean, everybody's seen the fucking famous meme.
Yeah.
Where he's fucking dribbling the ball down court and he looks like a fucking smudge on the lens. Like it.
Yeah.
Like Reggie's good. We need consistency. Yeah. We need Kawhi to fucking play a back-to-back.
When your bench unit comes in, you need to keep up the level of scoring that like their bench is.
But that's also not why I'm worried because we're going to make the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. As long as Kawhi plays in the playoffs at the level that he plays when he plays games, then we're good.
Yeah, we're not. I don't think I have any issues with this team moving forward.
I have issues with it. I'm fucking tired of the load management. I'm tired of us.
Would you rather it be the case that they low manage to be able to get into the playoffs with a lower seed, but they
still
make
it to
when
we get into the playoffs, round? We haven't broken free, and that's the thing.
I think you all.
This team for the past 3 years has been this good every year. We don't break free because when we get to the playoffs, either someone isn't playing or they collapse like they did against the Mavericks.
I think
like that's what we've seen.
The NBA is just a far more matchup-oriented sport. You know what I mean? Y'all match up well with everybody in the West.
I got it, but I have to be consistent. It's the same thing I do with Anthony Davis and stuff. It's like Anthony Davis is great, but he doesn't play enough.
Listen, I've been a fucking Clippers hater, but this is like one of those teams where like I'm not going to indict them because they're doing low management on a
it just has to pay off in the end, and it hasn't. Yeah, that's my problem.
That's been the argument. I mean, he did it with the Raptors even, and they were.
But it paid off. Yeah, nobody hears about that. That's the problem.
Preferential treatment, which we've heard about even with like Denver and Russ. Like that's what kind of came of that beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just like the Clippers. I think we can probably move on from this game. We got 2 more to go. Let's do Nets at Knicks. Or Knicks at Nets. Kind of like a rivalry game. New York teams kind of going at it. Kevin Durant's still not back.
He's back.
Is he?
He played against the Sixers.
Yeah, he didn't play in this game.
Yeah,
he wasn't back.
He just got back tonight. So, yes. Kyrie Irving, man,
this guy is good.
For me, he's kind of working
on second team.
He's kind of working his way into the first team because he's keeping them afloat. They're what third in the East?
I don't know. First team All NBA is hard. He's got to go over Luka and Ja.
Man, that sucks.
But dude, the Kyrie is keeping them afloat, and then,
I think he's performing better right now than Ja is. As an individual player without
this is the
team.
This is the team that when
I said second best player, like your co-star. I did not mean Kevin Durant's not better than Kyrie.
Like the fucking
the score 115 Knicks Nets 122
all over the place today. Yeah. No, I this is the team that we saw when they went together. It's like, oh, this is what they could do together. Mm-hmm. The problem is Kevin's been hurt, but now he's back. Now you've got Kawhi fucking Christ.
Kyrie.
Playing at the way he is, and then you have KD, who is he the most guaranteed player in the league? Like when he plays, you have zero question on what he's going to do.
Yeah,
he's on that
list.
He'll be efficient. He'll give you 30. He'll play good defense. He'll rebound.
Well, let's not take away. Kyrie is playing out of his mind. He's playing very good. Yeah. But he's playing insane in the fourth quarter. Yeah. He's just playing clutch. But the other big thing here was what Kevin Durant, of course, Kevin Durant kind of called out this team for being bums beside them too. And since then, Claxton has had 2 blocks for I think
Claxton
6
is
games
a
still.
fucking Claxton is a second right now.
He had 3 in this game.
Defensive player of the year. Have you seen what he's been doing?
Yes,
it's 27 something points a game.
It's Claxton and Giannis.
Yeah, Claxton in this game had
and Embiid.
He had 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and 13 points. And that's not including the 3 blocks.
Go to the games before this, bro. Yes, he was getting 27s, 25.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, we can't discredit that their team has.
Even Joe Harris coming along like he did. He had 16.
Ooh,
and then,
fumble.
Is that Royce O'Neal?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 14. Seth Curry still had 14.
But these were the pieces. These were the pieces that everyone clowned them for when they got them because they're like, "Oh, you went and got these pieces, yet they turned out." Like that's what they're turning out to be exactly what they needed to be. The only piece that isn't is is Ben Simmons.
Yeah, Ben's
but the fucking the other day, because I literally saw people tweet and they were like, "Yeah, Ben Simmons plays like this. This is who wins the championship."
So all right, so the reason they are getting clowned for the pieces that they have is because they could have gotten other pieces, but KD said, "I don't want other pieces. Yeah. These are the guys I want," and then goes, "They're fucking bums." So.
Maybe that's just how Kevin talks to people. Like people listen to it with fucking
it's either
Jordan
you get motivated
or
you go in a slump about that.
Claxton is averaging 2.7 blocks a game this
Holy
season.
Shit, man! Damn, that's like Anthony Davis in Kentucky. Shit.
Yeah, it's insane. And
I don't know. College numbers are always so different. I wouldn't be surprised if Davis was 3.5 in college.
Yeah. I mean, he won the Wood Award by a long shot. It wasn't even close. He was Player of the Year for sure. But I don't know. I love the Nets. I think that they're probably going to be.
I'm happy that they're good because everybody shit on them last year like they weren't a fucking toenail away from being in the Eastern Conference Finals or the finals. Because that was the Eastern Conference Finals.
And then the Bucks. I mean, they got.
And that was fucking KD out there bombs. There's too many fucking K names. Can y'all name your kids something different, please?
Here's the thing about last year. If the Bucks were fully if they had Middleton because he went out and Giannis also.
That's the argument.
Giannis was scoring 50 with fucking a meniscus issue or what was it, an MCL something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if he's fully healthy, they beat the Warriors. I think
that's the
Anthony Davis averaged 4.7 blocks.
See, I fucking told you, dude. College numbers.
I thought it was 3 as well, so that's why I thought it was.
College numbers for every sport is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was a decade ago.
College numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah, but 2.7.
Yeah, this is professionals. This isn't college NBA level. This is everybody's a professional.
Yeah. That's the thing about
which is something. We call people bums, but they are all professionals.
Yeah.
Professional bums.
Well, let's talk about the Knicks. touch on them a little bit because we had a couple of these players. I mean, one
Julius
of these,
Randle.
Yeah, we had Julius Randle on our All NBA team.
You gotta reword that, bro.
What do you mean you didn't have him?
No, you said touch on them a little bit.
RJ Barrett put up 24. I'm just gonna keep it moving. Jalen Brunson, 26 points. Let's just talk about how Luka misses this man so much.
This guy so bad. You see him with the fucking during the Giants week. He was wearing that Jalen Hurts jersey.
Oh my god!
Hey, that's a good luck charm to me, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big Hurts
going
fan.
For 500
big
yards,
Eagles
and 6
fan.
touchdowns. Bucket.
He ain't gonna make it.
The over.
I mean, we see who's on the field currently.
That's crazy because they're losing.
Damn. Fourth quarter, boys. We got 15 minutes.
All right, we'll fucking get back to the game. But yeah, Julius Randle had 24 points, shot 7 of 15, 6 of 9 for free throw.
4 of 6 from the free throw line.
What game are we looking at?
We're looking at the Nets.
I was about to say that's not right.
Is it not?
It might. No, it's a different Nets game.
They just played him yesterday.
Yeah, 115 to 122.
Yeah.
How? Oh, it pulled it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, RJ Barrett stepped up.
iPad, bro.
This Knicks team is better.
Yeah.
Than
far better than last year, I think. With Jalen Brunson in the lineup.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson is helping. But they're still missing something. I think they're missing that true superstar.
They needed Donovan Mitchell.
Yes, Donovan Mitchell would have changed.
They kind of
missing good players.
Yeah, but out of spite of hating the Knicks, they did not get them. That's like
you don't like the Knicks?
No, the Timberwolves
Knicks don't like
the Timberwolves owner didn't like.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's fucking what's
the Knicks offered a better package. They just genuinely don't like the Nets, so they handed them to Cleveland.
What's the Knicks owner's name? Dolan. Jim Dolan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't be knowing owners.
Pretty sure that's his name.
Something like that. But yeah, that's really what it came down to.
Dolan's on the team. I'm pretty sure that's his name.
Yeah,
don't fact check us.
Yeah, don't
that's
fact check
right.
us. I mean,
but the real takeaway here is Claxton is still playing great.
Yeah, like defense player of the year. And then Kyrie's keeping this team afloat.
And Kyrie, if the game is close in the fourth, the Nets will win as long as Kyrie is playing.
Come back and play at the level he did with his
Their fucking name is the New York Knickerbockers. That's what Knicks stands for. I didn't know that. Yeah. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
What a terrible name.
But so if you think Simmons comes back,
if he plays like he's a second in the defensive player of the year, like he was at the Sixers, yeah, of course, this team is fucking unbelievable.
Do you think they win the East?
I don't want to bet on. I don't want to bet on.
He's not going to come back to that level.
Well, who's going to be like? Do you think Kyrie continues to be the main ball handler in that offense? Like,
if he's in the starting lineup? If he's putting up 20 points,
that's what they need to do to thrive. As crazy as it is, Kevin Durant needs to be the second option. Think about how long that
lineup is. You've got fucking Kyrie, then you go. Who's their 2 guard? They've got what? Dinwiddie? No, Dinwiddie isn't there.
Joe Harris.
It's Seth.
Yeah, Joe Harris. Oh, Seth
Curry.
Yeah,
Seth
so
Curry plays the other guard.
Then you have 3 fucking players over 6'10".
Well, the thing is Ben can play any position, so you probably take Royce O'Neal out. But I don't know.
Ben. Fuck that. Ben's sitting on the bench until
Kyrie,
he shows
Seth,
me.
and then you've got Claxton.
Well, Claxton wasn't playing good. Yeah. Last year he was playing pretty bad, actually.
Well, yeah, the Nets were bad last year.
Well, we're talking about and then
they were all bad last year.
So Simmons was supposed to start the 5.
Yeah.
For this team, but obviously now you don't need that because you have Claxton playing at the level that he is. So then you would put Ben at the 4.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and then Joe Harris comes off the bench. Because then you have KD, Seth, and Kyrie.
No,
you can even play Ben at the 2.
I'd probably still have Joe in the starting lineup.
They're a defensive juggernaut.
Just
if he
because
plays like that, though, like
of course,
they've got four guys on the court that are 6'10" or higher.
Like Seth played more minutes. I guarantee you, he didn't start. He probably
this is the starting 5. So yeah,
he played 33 minutes.
Yeah,
so yeah, he started.
This is your starting 5. That's why they have him listed. Like
they shot 50% from the 3-point line too. Like.
Because I think you're right. I think whenever KD's in the lineup, I think Seth is pushed out.
Yeah.
I don't think Seth always starts. I do think
Joe Harris is so fucking flip-flop, bro. You never know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't hit fucking anything last year.
Nah. The team just falls apart.
With Seth, you have another ball handler that can come up the court, but you also have, if you have KD in the lineup, he can do that. He's got some of the best handles for his size in the NBA. But yeah, I think that this team's really versatile in the East. Whereas, like, if you look at the Celtics, they're not too versatile beyond their stars.
But they're clearly the best.
But they're just far. Like I think both Jaylen Brown and Tatum.
But
are
it's
both
not
better.
just that. Their
They're both
coaching's
better
better.
than
Their bench is deeper. They defend better. Like I don't
They
like
mesh well.
even
They got Al Horford there still. Like he's fucking playing well.
even best situation because even best case situation for the Nets, I still don't see them beating the Bucks or the Celtics in a series.
Oh man,
like those teams are just the team is too good. The bench is too good. The coaching is better.
I mean, we could wrap this up. I just think that the Nets are
we
looking.
got one more team.
Yeah, well, I'm saying this game. We've got one more game we're going to talk about. Kind of a fucking a rigged fucking situation here. Probably not rigged. I'm just saying, like it's frustrating.
If the Lakers were better, it wouldn't be rigged.
Well, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, even if it was a bad call,
a squandered performance from the all-time greatest player, like it's just bullshit.
It's still like.
It's what he chose.
It is absolutely a bad call. They should have won this game because of this. But it's not like they lost it because of this call.
Yeah.
They lost because they didn't outscore them in overtime.
So, you got the Lakers going on the road to the Celtics. They lose 121 to 125 on...
It's just not a good team.
It's just a blown regulation based off of a foul call LeBron didn't get. He even tweeted after the game, this one hurts like far more than any other this year.
Yeah,
I get it.
It was really bad
because like the performance that they gave, I feel like a lot of the players in the coming off the bench, obviously, like they just played so well.
I didn't know Anthony Davis played 34 minutes in this game.
He was fucking like
16 and 10.
Like he didn't go crazy.
Yeah, he defensively he kind of got exposed a little bit too.
Shouldn't be a thing.
I mean, you get.
This team's just not good.
You get 67 from your stars from the Celtics.
I'm so tired of. Like,
you can't limit that. And Jason Tatum didn't shoot well. He played 47 minutes. Jesus Christ.
So another thing, like the Celtics keep having these very close games with teams that we can argue aren't great.
I feel like the Lakers are kind of ascending. Like I feel like they're
the Lakers are getting better.
Yeah, I feel like if they have 8 either, and
my whole thing with what you're saying is that argument goes out the window the second you bring in the argument that the regular season doesn't matter because they can have these close games. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, is this a knock on the Celtics because they let the Clippers or the Lakers have a close game? Like,
no, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like whenever it comes to
it's concerning.
Yeah, whenever it comes to playoff time, you don't want to see that your team is barely winning. We saw this with the Vikings, that they were just barely winning all these games and scraping by. I know it's very different. It's very different. But I'm just saying in comparison, whenever you see a team just barely winning a lot of games in a row, it does start to become a little concerning. But I think the Celtics are not like a fraud team. I think they're very legit.
I was going to say they're still number 1 in the NBA.
Yeah.
And they've got the MVP so far. Like, it's just the fact he's the best player on the best team. So I mean, he's going to get it.
And they have like maybe not the best because we just talked about the team that has the best, but they have such a good asset with Jaylen Brown. Whenever Jason Tatum is not the best player on the court.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown,
you saw this in the playoffs
he's very close to being that guy. Like this one was obviously LeBron.
In the finals last year, whenever they won those games, Jaylen Brown came on.
He was the consistent piece when Jason wasn't.
But Jason Tatum's also the number 1 guy you're trying to limit in an offense.
Yeah.
And then like Al Horford was able to kind of pick up some more of the slack in those.
Malcolm Brogdon has been such a good addition.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you play smart basketball.
Brogdon was great on the Pacers. He's just been
good. He's always been good. Yeah. He's a where did
he start?
He was. I don't know why I want to say Sixers. I don't think it is. It was Pacers.
Was it the Trail
Bucks?
Blaze? It was the Bucks.
Bucks in 2016 to 2018, then Pacers from 2019 to 2021.
Too, right?
Now the Celtics.
Bucks?
Yeah, Jason Kidd was the coach, I believe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably.
It doesn't sound wrong, but I don't know.
A couple years ago.
For sure.
Yeah. But
very consistent player. His stats really don't vary.
You want to talk about the Lakers side a little bit?
They look pretty close all the way around.
I don't care.
Let's talk about the Lakers a little bit. Patrick Beverley's horrible at basketball.
He's horrible at basketball, but
it's so cringe.
He's so good.
I didn't realize how cringe it was because he was on the Clippers and it was funny to watch.
Damn, that's crazy.
No, that was the best. That was the best technical I've ever seen.
That shit is cringe. I do not care.
You said the same thing about Gino, saying that I don't write back.
I just don't think
That's
you have.
fire.
I don't know.
That
makes more
too.
sense than what Patrick Beverly.
He was showing him the damn foul.
No, he went and took a camera from somebody and was like, "Look,
Here's
like he didn't. That this
that
fucking this he didn't
fire.
fucking go through and look. He fucking sucks. All he does is fucking front run.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's championship was the fucking.
It's crazy. He was with the Clippers for
That was
years.
fire,
He was with the Clippers for years. He went to Timberwolves, did the same shit with the Timberwolves. I've been saying the same shit about the guy. Like
he's always been a nuisance. I've never. It's just you don't see the same shit when he's on your team.
Like he has a sympathetic story too.
He,
like whenever he came into the NBA, like he had to pay off loans and shit with his checks. He wasn't making shit. He had to live with his mom and stuff. But like,
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Since I've been hating Chris Paul, I've loved Patrick Beverly because he is Chris Paul's biggest hater, and it makes me like him so much more.
Why do you hate Chris Paul?
What, CP0 rings?
Oh my god!
Okay. You want to skip Bayless?
Why wouldn't I?
Flow?
That's so ignorant. Look at all the great players that don't have rings.
Well.
Yeah.
And you know who fucking and you know what's crazy is you can probably bet on who stopped those players from getting rings. It was either LeBron or Jordan.
All right. Speaking of LeBron, we got to talk about him. He is the story of the game. Gets fouled at the end, doesn't get the call.
Yeah.
Scored 41 in the game.
They'd probably be better if they didn't have Patrick Beverly.
I think so.
Like,
no,
probably.
That's a little.
He's a fucking bum.
He shot well from the three-point line in this game, but he is fucking dog shit.
Russell Westbrook was right. I'm a fucking Westbrook hater, but Russell Westbrook is right.
I would start Lonnie Walker.
Right.
Put Lonnie Walker.
That motherfucker does nothing but run around and yell. You know his breath stinks. You know he fucking like, dude, no. He probably doesn't wear socks in his shoes. Like, he's just the worst fucking he's the embodiment of the worst hooper ever. Like, every hooper trait that you hate.
He doesn't back it up in terms of like being like.
That's what's saying.
The
it's
shit
like
he was
Westbrook
coming on to the Lakers, like I made the playoffs.
Like if you're on a team,
didn't. Your team made the playoffs.
Yeah, like I'm coming in and I'm the fucking playoff caliber piece.
Yeah, y'all aren't in the fucking playoff hunt right now. What about that?
You're on a fucking team where Westbrook changed how he played to fit the team. You can't change how you play. Like I don't know.
It's almost insulting that Westbrook doesn't start over Patrick Beverly. You know what I mean? Just
like people were comparing him to Eli Apple. I'm like, at least Eli Apple makes plays in a game.
Yeah.
Like,
fucking like Patrick Beverly. I don't know. I get the hate. Don't get me wrong. He's a very
he's just annoying.
His tactic is being annoying. So I understand why people don't like.
He's a brash person. Like he's just like Baker, but Baker. I mean, he even won a playoff game off the his shoulder.
Yeah, but Baker's not as bad as him, and they can at least back up some point of their fucking skills.
Like Patrick Beverly does talk some shit, and he is. But like we all know he's like the role player. Like, even if he doesn't,
he's not even that.
We don't know that he's the role player.
That makes it worse. Nobody wants to hear from a role player. You don't hear PJ Tucker talking shit. All we see about PJ Tucker is the fact that his shoe fucking collection is crazy. That's what it fucking should be. You're not a fucking...
They were just talking about how PJ Tucker was the KD's answer. He shuts down KD.
But he didn't say that. He didn't say that. That's people saying that. Whereas Beverly is like, I can fucking guard KD.
Hey, he's a dog.
No,
bro.
That's
incredibly fucking dumb.
He is cringe.
I don't think he said that he can.
He is the Henry.
He watched LeBron in the fucking in the Clippers game 2 years ago, and he's the next coming of fucking Dennis Rodman.
No, he's fucking garbage.
Patrick Beverly putting up 5-5-15. I mean, that's fair. That's exactly what you want from this guy.
I'm so glad
he doesn't need to do more. That's not what he's there for.
The fact that he's scoring 15 points a game is a surprise in and out of itself, but it's also an indictment on your team and the fact that he's playing enough to score 15 points.
He did play 36
I'm glad
minutes.
your tune has changed on this guy since he was
Well, yeah, it's not funny to watch anymore.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's like if your kid's bothering somebody, you're gonna laugh at it more than if their kid's bothering you. Like, you're going to want to punch that kid in the fucking face.
All right.
I hate Patrick Beverly, dog. He's garbage. And everyone's like, oh my God, this is the best tech in the world. That's the same shit. Right. That's the same shit as fucking overtime fucking on Twitter praising those 3-year-olds or those fucking third graders for fucking doing this shit. Yeah. Like, that shit is so corny, dog. Like, it's not.
Why are you hating on people having fun?
No, I'm not hating on people having fun. I'm hating on motherfuckers that don't deserve to talk shit.
I feel like the stakes.
Did you see what KD said?
Huh? KD doesn't like that shit either.
No, did you see what KD said about those kids? He said, when we were kids, we imitated our idols. That's all they're doing.
I get that.
Yeah, they're having a great time.
Yeah, but
I'm excusing the kids.
But
I'm blaming overtime for
Patrick
fucking
Beverly's
promoting
acting
it.
like
I'm blaming Patrick Beverly for being shit.
is acting like he's the one they're imitating.
That's what
it's not happening.
He's not.
It's not him.
He is not him. No kid is. You're not going to see a kid go.
I want this to be
a
fucking Patrick Beverly hate sex.
We gotta move on. But let's just say Patrick Beverly is doing his job so well. He's got to you all.
No,
like you all are fucking hating.
He's not doing his job.
He's a nuisance first.
No,
that is
that is his thing.
His job is to play basketball and help the team. And the Lakers are 12th. They're not helping shit. They fucking suck. He's not helping.
They're a couple games behind.
I really wish LeBron could get traded. He should be on the Sixers.
You just get the production from other players, and you don't have to listen to him taking cameras from.
I'm not arguing that he is. I'm not saying that he is one of the best players. I'm just saying he's doing his job, and I love the tech. The way that he got that tech, that was fucking amazing.
So corny.
I just don't admire it because I'm a hater.
I
hate him as much as you hate Aaron Rodgers.
No, I get that.
I don't admire shit like that because
I have no vested interest in Patrick Beverly, the fucking basketball player.
Yeah,
like you know
he's
what?
just so insignificant.
I can't hate a role player.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't get how.
That's what I'm saying. I can't hate a role player. I hate Aaron Rodgers because he's.
I don't
good.
know how I can hate a guy this much.
Like, you know what?
I don't want to.
I take that back. I hate Jimmy G. So I do hate role players.
You know what?
I do hate role players.
You know what that reminds? You know what the equivalent of what Patrick Beverly did?
Jimmy G.
No, the equivalent is fucking Cam Newton doing that. I'm back for 5 minutes after he scores.
That was
fire. It's fucking
that was
cringe.
fire.
That is cringe. You lost.
That was fire.
I was back for 3 seconds and you lose the fucking game.
Yeah, after he lost, it sucked, but it was fire.
Same thing with him. Oh, look at the fucking camera. It was a foul. You lost. Shut the fuck up.
They wouldn't have.
Well, they went to overtime.
They wouldn't have lost.
That's even worse because he probably could have made a fucking impact there, but he didn't because he fucking
They wouldn't have
sucks.
lost. If they would have looked at the camera and seen the foul, they wouldn't have lost.
That camera probably didn't have it. That camera
Have you
probably
seen the
had.
video? It didn't. It very much didn't. It was not on the.
No, I'm telling you,
You could have pulled it up though.
The first pick, the last picture was Patrick Beverly's ugly ass right there taking the fucking camera out of his hands.
Yeah.
Like, no, that was.
Right.
We basically just hated on him for fucking
it's
10
fun.
minutes, but
it's worth it.
He sucks.
I didn't think I needed to defend Patrick Beverly. I just like the tech.
The fact that you defend Patrick Beverly is.
I don't fucking like. I don't love Patrick Beverly. I think he's mid at best.
I just think
the tech's fire.
Brendan likes all kinds of like goofy shit like that, like Devontae Smith's celebration.
Oh, that was the best.
That's
top 5 celebrations I've ever seen.
He deserves to do it. Patrick Beverly does not deserve to be caught fucking fighting for tax.
If that was LeBron, it'd be even better.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If LeBron does that, I'm all in for it. You deserve. LeBron has every fucking reason.
That would hurt my soul.
LeBron has every fucking reason to complain because he gets no fouls. What the fuck is Patrick Beverly doing on a daily basis that he can complain about anything?
LeBron shooting under 10 free throws in a game is fucking horrendous.
Horrendous.
And the thing is, he deserves the calls. Like,
horrendous.
All right, we're going to move on, though. That's the games we're going to cover. We're going to talk about the All-Star Weekend. We got some voting results. We got
somebody who's not playing in this fucking
We've got the starters. Someone's not playing in the game.
No, he's not starting. That's fucking robbery.
It is robbery.
Yeah, because, look, if we're going to keep
They did exactly what we did, except they did the exact opposite of what we did. Whereas we took into account games played in our first All-NBA team. They didn't give a fuck. Kevin Durant, you played 7 games. Zion Williamson, you played 3. Both of you were starters.
Right. I'm going to hand a list out the starters. We got the Eastern Conference. Giannis at the center. You got Kyrie and Donovan Mitchell at the guards. Then you got Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum at the forwards. Move over to the Western Conference. You got Jokic at the center. Then you got Curry and Doncic coming on. They're the guards. Then you got LeBron and Zion.
This is Zion's second All-Star appearance.
I don't think he deserves it.
Motherfucker played 9 games.
He doesn't deserve the starter.
Yeah,
he deserves to play because he's that good.
The All-Star game is not the same thing as the Pro Bowl. I feel like this is more of like a popularity contest or like a name.
Yeah, well, that's because the fan vote matters more in the NBA than it does in the NFL. So that's the problem.
Do you all know the full teams?
You niggas don't deserve to vote.
Yeah, I've got the voting right here.
I don't deserve to vote either. But that's just my opinion.
Western Conference, the front court is LeBron, Joker, Anthony Davis, Zion, Wiggins.
These are that's not the front court. Oh, yeah. I thought you were saying like the starters. I was like, no, that's just in order of vote.
You got Sabonis, Paul George, Wiggins, and Draymond Green. That's the front court. Then you got the guards. You got Curry, Doncic, John Morant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Damian Lillard, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Booker. Westbrook made it. That's crazy. Anthony Edwards and
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Yeah, he's been
good. Yeah,
Claxton made it at the 10. The 10th front court.
Yeah. And then let's go over to the Eastern Conference. For the front court, you got Giannis, Durant, Tatum, Embiid. So he's not the starter, but he's the third.
He's the first center.
Yeah, they for just the fan rank, he ranked fourth. So then you got Jimmy Butler, Pascal Siakam, Banchero from Orlando. Then you got
Blanchero.
Yeah, Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuzma, Randall, Bam Adebayo. That's all the front court. Then you got the guards.
That's different than this.
You got Kyrie.
Shaq's looking at this list like, who the fuck are half of these players? Like,
you got Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, James Harden, Tyrese Halliburton, DeMar DeRozan, Trae Young, LaMelo Ball, Darius Garland.
You're just doing the fan voting. I got you.
Well, see, the fan voting's so bad. Like, this is why people don't deserve to vote. So you're telling me LaMelo Ball has been better than Darius Garland this year? Thank you. Well, it's not a fucking fact.
It's the weighted score. So, like, the media ranked LaMelo.
Chet Holmgren got votes. He hasn't played.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Exactly.
It's fan vote.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Fans don't deserve to vote.
50% fan votes. 25% NBA players, 25% media.
You know what it needs to be?
I think it might. I like the fan voting. I just don't know if it necessarily needs to be 50%.
I don't think fan voting needs to be in there at all. It needs to be 25% media panel, 75% players. The players are going to get it right. That's just the fact.
Why don't you want people to vote? Like, why don't you want fans to be like, these are the players?
Because you have instances where Joel Embiid's not a starter in the East, and it's a fucking travesty. You have an instance where Darius Garland.
Taking into account the players and the media along with the fan vote.
So how is LaMelo? Exactly, that's wrong. So Darius Garland shouldn't be an all-star, but LaMelo is. LaMelo's not playing better than Darius Garland.
They're both all-stars. They're just not starters. They're on the roster. They're just not starting.
No, it's bad. Because the player vote or the fan vote is where you have these instances where people get snubbed. You have these instances where things come out.
Christian McCaffrey made it over 20 polls.
I know that sounds stupid, but that's why the NFL, their top 100 player is objectively the best list that's made because it's entirely player made.
Well, it could be biased in favor of your teammates as well, huh?
Pollard made it now, didn't
he? Yeah, he's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
I was saying he made it over Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah, you said it backwards. You said McCaffrey didn't make it. McCaffrey should have made it now, right?
But the games. That's probably what helped.
Because the Eagles are in the Super Bowl.
Well, he'll be an alternate as well, but he didn't make the Pro Bowl roster.
Yeah.
He wasn't voted in on the Pro Bowl.
Gotcha. There's going to be snubs with players too. Players are going to get things wrong.
The Pro Bowl is in the big game, they'll be taken out.
Yeah.
And they'll be replaced by alternates that had the most votes, essentially. But they also do a weighted score based off of media and players. You've got the NFL Top 100. It's based off player recognition.
Where you literally have fans who are like, I like this player. He's getting my vote no matter what. That is...
They even did their all-pro list, the NFLPA. They do a vote, like it's the same kind of list with...
I just think, and I think it should be in every sport. If you were going to ask if you were going to make a list on who the best players are in your league, it needs to be the people who have the most experience with these people, and it's the players. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact.
I mean, like Aaron Donald, that's how the MVP should have been voted on. For the NFL and the NBA.
And I agree with that. And
it was like that for a time. They voted on it. They voted on the awards.
But who's to say that the MVP changes if it is voted by players this year? Because
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that's what gives it more recognition, I believe.
So here's my question: who do you kick out? And I do know that
Kyrie or Kevin.
No,
literally they haven't played enough games.
It goes off of front court, so it would be Giannis, KD, or Tatum.
Oh, it would be KD, easily.
Over who?
It would be Embiid. You would kick one of them three out.
You would take Kevin Durant out and start Embiid. That's not
just based off of
blasphemy.
I get it.
Yeah,
and
I'm with that.
I assume that's like I would
Embiid
say that's
should be second.
And people are going to complain. People are going to do the same thing because Kevin Durant's not a starter that I'm doing because Embiid's not a starter. Yeah. But it's objectively right that Embiid's the starter and Kevin's not. That's just the fact. And that's where the fan vote is a problem because you get this. Yeah. People aren't looking at the fact that that's why I think players are they're the most players in media. I think players
they have
in
the
anything.
Most credibility.
They have the most credibility, and 9 times out of 10 they're fucking right. Like a lot of times, players are usually right. Like that's just like JJ Redick. Listen to him break down basketball and tell me he's wrong about anything he says. He's great at what he does.
Well, we do have a during last call. We're gonna mention that.
And another thing that I want to point out about this game, is the new rules that rather than doing the whole TNT big, video, like where they're gonna pick their draft, like do the draft, they get to do it right in front of everyone. So they're gonna.
That's cool.
Back
It'll be on the court,
kind of like when you were like in school or you would play like backyard ball.
That's
and they're gonna line up and they're gonna pick.
The only thing I don't like about it is the starters have to be the starters.
Yes, and I do think that that's a little odd, but
because
I also get it. But who would you take first if you were Giannis? You can't pick LeBron. LeBron and Giannis are the two captains. And
it's Jokic. It's either Jokic or
if you're Giannis.
You have to pick from the.
You have to pick from the East.
No, you don't.
No,
you don't?
You pick any of the starters.
Then I probably do take Jokic.
If you're Giannis, you're going to
pick from the starters.
Really?
Oh well, if I'm Giannis, then yeah, I'm probably going to go for a guard.
You have any of these starters except for LeBron and Giannis. If you were Giannis, which one do you take?
That's so subjective because, I would probably just take. At that point, I would take who I would want to play.
Honestly,
with
if I'm Giannis, who's picking first?
Curry or
I don't know who. I think they pick who's going to pick first. Then
probably whoever has more votes.
That's what I was about to say.
If I'm Giannis, I pick Kevin. If I'm LeBron, I pick Kevin. I think Kevin's.
I think if you're LeBron, you pick Curry
as a starter. I mean, you got Kyrie. You could pick Kyrie.
But that's who
LeBron has to pick Kyrie.
Well, that's
actually who the correct answer is. LeBron has to draft.
But
Kyrie
this is
first.
a better format because this not only will the game be more fun because you don't know the starting lineups until the game is played. You get instead
Giannis
of
and
me
Luka on the same fucking team.
That's what I was gonna say. If I'm Giannis, I'm picking Luka.
Instead of being
you get to see Westbrook be pissed off, and I'm just gonna use Westbrook as the butt of the joke here. But you get to see Westbrook be pissed off that he was the last vote.
He's the last vote
or the last pick
for sure.
But isn't that it's gonna be so
last year
good?
James Harden.
But no,
James
Harden's gonna be sweating because you know that he was always the last pick in school,
yeah.
Even though he was better than everyone. Joker.
Jokic.
Yeah, but he's one of the best players in the NBA now.
Yeah,
so.
but he's gonna be sweating. He's like, I know, I'm always been the last pick.
This format gives us the ability to see instead of it being okay, I could build objectively the best team, or I could just fill the team with all the players I want to play with that I'm not going to get a chance to.
Draymond Green made this team, by the way, or that he made the voting. He made the list.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
That's objectively probably wrong. That is probably his fucking fan vote in player.
Wow, that's
another
crazy.
Interception. But
another tipped interception too, which is even crazier.
But I don't know. I have a problem. I have a problem with player voting in sports.
I like it.
The current format for the All-Star Week.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have the same events every year. Do you think that the dunk contest and the 3-point shot? I mean, the 3-point.
So I've lost a lot of interest in that part of things.
Yeah.
But it's not because of the event. It's the people in the event. If the people cared and wanted to be in the event, like the last dunk contest we got that people cared about was 2016. After that happened, the players don't.
Was in one
it's 2016.
He was in one
it was the no 2016 is the one that you remember.
It might be, but it's I did think there was
Aaron It was Aaron Gordon and
Mitchell.
The thing that I really like about All-Star Weekend is they keep changing things for the better.
It was Aaron Gordon and Zach Levine.
They switched it. They switched it to more like a pickup game. Where it's you have to win by 2 or whatever. It's
they've had that same format for a while now.
It's only been 2-3 years.
2-3, yeah. It's only been.
But that's what I'm saying. They've been making these changes. Now they're making another change where they're going to pick right in front of everyone. Yeah. They make subtle changes that I like a lot.
This is where I differ with my fan voting. I think the fan vote should be taken away, but instances like this, it should be fully fan driven. As in, what do the fans want to see these players do? These are the best players in our league. What do you want to see them? And that's kind of why I like the new. We'll talk about the new NFL.
Imagine one of the biggest knockout games from. I feel like
knockout with Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, Curry, fucking
Curry.
Just people where you don't even have to. Kyrie,
you got trick shotters
Luka.
Steph Curry probably. Wins
and imagine
knockout.
if people cared about cared about the dunk contest where you'll have
Ja Morant.
LeBron should have did Zion.
Less subjective voting on events like that, but more skill based.
We want to see the people who excel at these, the skills challenge, dribbling around and make those passes. I don't want to see players who shouldn't be able to do that. I want to see Tyrese Halliburton, who's leading the league in assists. I want to see these people who are killers at passing the ball, throw the ball through tiny hoops. I want to see Curry shoot the ball from half court 90 times. That's the shit I want to see.
I want to see LeBron in the 3-point contest.
I'd want to see LeBron.
His load up is just so slow.
I want to see LeBron in a knockout competition just because LeBron's the type of person that if he misses, he's knocking your ball way the fuck.
He'll
out
kick
of
it
the
up
way.
into the fucking fifth
He's
row.
kicking that shit out of. But you also
LeBron can't miss though. You've seen him hit all those full court shots.
Now
he really did though.
The one event that the NBA needs, and this should be the night before.
Oh my god.
The one event the NBA needs that should be the night before the actual game is they need a one-on-one contest. I want to see a one-on-one contest. I want to see Kyrie and fucking...
Kyrie would cook whoever he played.
Kyrie would fucking mix up anybody on that shit.
Who's beating KD one-on-one?
The only person that would be Kyrie.
Make it take it.
If they actually
lock
up, I feel like.
But that's the thing. You have instances like that.
KD's a dog.
KD probably wins that shit.
Yeah, KD's got to win. But
that's the thing. That's why I'm getting at this because you make it one-on-one. They start talking shit amongst themselves. Yeah. Same thing at the fucking. Everybody shut the fuck up. Everybody remembers the video of the
game
fucking
of 21 with this.
21 one-on-one. No, you do the Kobe. It's Kobe. You play to 24. If you miss it, you go back down to 8. If you miss your 24th point, you go back down to 8.
Pacheco.
But you start making them. They start talking shit amongst themselves. Like one of everybody's favorite video is Kyrie talking shit to Kobe, saying you're not going to lock me up.
Yeah,
we love to see that. That's what you get when you add a one-on-one tournament.
You get guys in a.
We get to see these skills that you don't get to see in a full game.
People on the planet.
Think of the bag moves Kyrie's pulling out in a one-on-one game that he can't use in a game.
I feel like that just makes the NBA more fun. And the thing is that the
NBA is more fun.
We're gonna have the last call segment. I feel like they just don't market this shit well enough, and we've got faces of the NBA that don't contribute well to that. So, are you guys?
Shaq doesn't contribute to the image of the league. Get the fuck out of here.
We're gonna
it's
talk
Shaq,
about
bro.
Listen,
everybody knows he's
we're gonna talk about
big and
are y'all good on this segment? We can go ahead and go to the NFL news and stuff. If y'all want.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get rid of that. So, let's talk about just some updates in the NFL, and then we're gonna move on to our 5 quarterbacks in each conference. What are you doing over there?
I'm still doing my list.
Oh my god!
I'm working on it. I'm back.
Jesus.
His fucking reasoning, bro, is just funny. It's fraud, Purdy.
I put Trey Purdy. We'll talk about it later.
All right, so just some updates. We've got a lot of coaching moves, obviously. A lot of these coaches are getting fired. They're moving on. They're getting hired. Coordinators going to other teams and stuff. We can start out with Frank Reich getting hired to the Panthers. They don't really have a quarterback on the roster. What do they do there? I was thinking Wentz ends up there.
I'm so fucking tired of seeing Wentz play football.
What team did you say?
The Panthers.
The Panthers.
They've got a good defense, got a good run game.
But they got rid of everybody that
Sam Darnold showed that he's not a complete bum.
He's a bum.
At the end,
Yeah.
he is. That's why I said complete bum. I wasn't going to say he's not a bum.
They've got a high pick.
And they do have a high pick, so I think that more than likely...
Will Levis, Anthony Richardson.
You just draft a quarterback. I
would try and trade up. If you can trade up and maybe make something happen there.
Trading up so hard at
maybe
that. Because what are they, 7th? I think they're 7th.
There's a chance...
They ended up fucking 7-10, I think.
There's a chance that...
They have a top 10 pick.
A quarterback falls like Anthony Richards.
Well, I'm thinking Will Levis does.
Will Levis, I don't know, man. People are hyping him up like he might go before C.J. Stroud, which I don't think so. He should.
He's the same prospect as Herbert or Allen. He's got the prototype.
People are hyping him up like he's Zach Wilson.
No.
He wasn't supposed to be drafted high.
Well, Zach's not nearly as big. Well,
yeah,
Zach made his money on the pro day.
I think he's a better.
That's how they're hyping up.
He's a better prospect for the NFL.
But I've always thought Will Levis is going to make an NFL team happy. Like I think they're going to be okay with Will Levis. Like the Seahawks.
He's got the measurables. Like you can definitely tell. Like he's got the.
He's not as much of a product because he doesn't have the. But that's also Kentucky's offense. Like Kentucky is never a passing offense. They run the fuck out of the ball.
You got West Coast offenses that run fucking like play action.
That's why quarterback evaluating doesn't like looking at quarterback play in college generally doesn't fucking matter. Because like who would have thought Josh Allen would be this good looking at his Wyoming? Josh Allen didn't play in a pro system. Like look, but you see it in the Big 12. You have great quarterbacks in the NFL. Like I'm gonna lump Tua and Mac in this. You have where they were fucking top top echelon in college, and then they come in and they're not that. And then you have people who are like Josh Allen, where he wasn't that in college. He was sliding because of his ability, and then he turns out to be, arguably the third best quarterback in the league.
He was the top.
Yeah, but they took him on a whim. They took him more of a risk than a reward.
Well,
they were like, if this pays off and he learns,
it was Darnold. Rosen was in that
reward.
Discussion. Lamar wasn't in the discussion.
He was
They were saying
trade up.
Yeah, which Baltimore did with Philly.
Yeah, he was a trade up, and that's why. I didn't. You know exactly what I'm about to say.
Don't bring it up.
Fucking imagine if y'all never trade that and y'all took Lamar.
Well, I was gonna say the Bears trade up.
Well, in terms of
no, I didn't know that was their. I didn't know that was their pick.
I don't know if y'all saw this today. Jalen Hurts broke the record for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in a season ever.
No, I didn't know that.
He's also played longer than Lamar has in a season.
Huh?
He's also played.
Yeah, we can move the goalpost, and we're gonna do it with any stat that's broken now that we have longer seasons, but it is still pretty.
Well,
impressive. It's still impressive.
It's including the playoffs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's what I said. I said he's played longer than Lamar.
Or the wild card round game. That's a game he didn't get to play.
Yeah.
And he still broke the record. So,
no, it's impressive, to say the least.
But let's get back onto the coaching hire. Frank Reich. Do y'all like that going to Carolina?
He hasn't impressed me.
It's not like
I feel like he's impressive. With he went there.
Wasn't he their first quarterback?
He had Rivers.
Yeah.
He had Rivers.
No, he was the Carolina Panthers' first quarterback
for the Panthers. I thought that was a cool story.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't necessarily think that he should have gotten the job.
He's not
I think he
impressive.
deserves it over other candidates.
Yeah.
I don't know who else could have went there.
I don't either, but I don't know.
Bieniemy.
This is kind of like a second.
I'm gonna keep knocking on this fucking door.
This owner has not been very.
Yeah. No.
He's been very. I don't know. He's been quick with the trigger on get rid of people.
Yes.
He got rid of.
He had Matt Rule 3 years, and he had a 10-year contract.
But then again, the years before that, he had Rivera for a while.
Yeah, but that wasn't the same ownership. It was Jerry Richardson there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this owner is just legit. Just if they are not good, they're gone.
Yeah, that's the issue I have. I think Frank's gonna pick it up. He just needs to get a quarterback, and they can trade up. They've got assets.
Well, the other thing is we all know that next year's quarterback class.
Yeah.
Is insane.
And I think he got a couple years on his deal, so he could fucking suck.
That's another reason.
Quarterback class.
Caleb Williams, Drake May, Bo Nix, just to say at least. Just to say a few.
I'm not. Bo Nix has been playing college football for 9 years. I'm not over him.
And I get it.
And he's on my favorite team, and I'm just he's not.
But I'm just saying, that's just 3 right off the rip. But so I think honestly, you could just stick with Sam Darnold. If you can't trade up,
he's not currently under contract.
You don't have anything on this team.
Yeah.
Matt Corral is there.
Yeah, why not? It's just one of those things where I'm like, why not just fucking be terrible again?
You don't have
Sam
anything on your
Ellinger
team.
It's terrible Matt Ryan.
You don't have anything on your team. You got rid of Christian McCaffrey. DJ Moore's there, and then you've got 2 players on defense that are worth the fuck. J.C. Horn.
J.C. Horn too.
I think you take a risk quarterback. So maybe a Carson Wentz is.
You take a bridge year.
A late round pick. What if Will Levis actually slides because of his combine or something?
Yeah. If
you want to take quarterbacks back to back, that's
Stetson Bennett's a solid little pick.
Spencer Rattler, he's probably going to be in the
Spencer Rattler's back. He's coming back another year of college.
Yeah, he definitely needs another year.
What is he? Wasn't he a senior?
No. He's just now a junior.
Okay, well, that's good. I hope he gets maybe he'll enter the portal or something because he's at Ole Miss still.
No, he's at South Carolina.
South Carolina, that's right. He was at Missouri for a minute.
It was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Well, I know he was at Oklahoma, but he went to Missouri too.
No. Did he?
I thought.
No, I don't think so. No, he went to South Carolina.
He went to South Carolina,
and he was a bum for those first fucking 7 weeks. And
he was a bum at Oklahoma.
He was a dog at Oklahoma, and then he had one horrible game.
Well, Caleb Williams beat him out for the job because he's just so much better.
Yeah, but he had a bad game, and then Caleb came in and was like, "Well, fuck
Lincoln Riley ended up in the Pac-12 was it's just so good."
But, all right, moving on.
All right, we got DeMeco Ryans. He's got a lot of hype going to the Texans, and he's also got looks for Denver. He is the front runner to be the Texans' next head coach. I feel like this is terrible, a terrible situation.
I don't know why niggas keep taking the Texans' job.
2 guys back-to-back years have got axed from this team.
That's what I'm saying. Is
I don't know what they
they're,
fucking expect.
That's what I'm saying. They're
David
not
Culley, and then you got fucking Lovie Smith.
They're clearly
shout out to Lovie.
Back-to-back
That's
years.
my guy.
They're clearly not
Secured all the first-round pick.
He's a dog.
The problem with the
Always
Texans is they're not good enough to be as proactive as they are. They're not good enough to keep axing
They're reactive as
teams.
fuck.
Yes.
They don't
They're
give a shit about like
reactive.
building a culture or like giving these young players like something to look forward to.
But what young players do you have?
Davis Mills.
I mean, Davis Mills could really use some fucking stability right now.
Let's be real. What players do the Texans have?
They got Derek
Damian
right
Pierce
now,
and Derek Stingley.
They either have C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young.
They're gonna have one of those guys.
Exactly.
That's
the point that
Not
I'm saying.
him with an
Is you're
offensive-
so reactive, you're so fucking proactive, and trying to fucking let's get the next guru to a team that's playing with
D'Amico
shit
Ryans
in a
isn't
fucking
an offensive
sandbox.
guru, though. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah, but he's a defensive wizard. The gurus can be on either side. He'll change what the defense looks like, yeah. But are you going to
I'm
be
concerned
any
with
better?
the development of one of those young guys that comes in is what I'm saying.
Who was it? Stingley? Isn't that who they drafted?
Stingley's, yeah.
So maybe that's their reaction here is like Stingley didn't develop the way that he should have, and you see.
That's
so
fine.
maybe that like you bring in this
They wanna get the
defensive
best out of their
coordinator,
assets.
you just drafted.
Is
a
this
lot
so?
of
Is this the
defense.
same ownership from J.J. Watt's stint? Because they're doing the same thing they did with J.J. Watt. Is let's try and build around the defense, neglect the fucking offense,
Yeah.
and then.
Neglect the offense is a relative term when they had.
They had DeAndre Hopkins
And
fucking
they
Deshaun
had D-Hop
Watson.
and.
But they did-
Bill Cosby, yeah.
Yeah,
They did nothing to help either of them, though.
I get that around that, but like to say that they neglected.
They
it,
drafted
they
them.
did,
They
yeah,
lucked
yeah.
into that,
Yeah.
basically.
But like they did
Whereas,
take a
like,
top quarterback and a top.
the
receiver.
Eagles, and this is it is like the model of what the NFL needs to do is what the Eagles have done.
Yeah.
Is you need to support the players that you have and let them play in the systems that they thrive in.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so bullish on the Bears, because you have so much money. You have a quarterback that at the end of the year when we let him play the way he plays, he's good.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. You don't have the ability to do that, and the Texans never did that. They don't care about their offensive side of the ball. They want to keep building this phantom defense that isn't winning you fucking anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so abysmal. And then you're so reactive that you fire a head coach after 1 year, hire a new one, and then fire another one.
Yeah. Well,
Like
we're all in agreement on this.
like it's it just doesn't make sense. These teams, like everyone's trying to be the Eagles, and they don't have the fucking path, the
Before
work
we
for
move
it.
forward, I want to just give an update. 2020 with under a minute 30 left, we could see the fucking overtime rule that hasn't been implemented yet.
Yeah, that might be it. Hey, every one of the Bengals Chiefs games, the three that obviously come to mind whenever you're thinking about this
Burrow
matchup,
versus Mahomes.
the Burrow versus Mahomes, they've all ended with a 3-point game. Obviously, all going to
first down.
Obviously, all going to the Bengals,
Man,
but it's looking like this game is going to come down to a last-second field goal, which might mean that the Bengals
Evan
might
McPherson's not.
the Bengals might win by 3 again, but we'll see.
Damn.
Keeping it going.
I don't know who just texted me. I'm assuming it's a Bengals fan. Oh no. Anyways, we got D'Amico Ryans. We just covered him. Kellen Moore got fired from, or well, they mutually parted ways from the Cowboys. I think that this was a mandate from Jerry. Because Dak Prescott being this bad, being paid this much, needs to be better.
Dak's fault. It is. He needs to play better, but Jerry needs to get his fucking dick out of the team. Just go up into the fucking press box and shut the fuck up. Let the fucking people who know
had a hand in how bad he was this year.
I don't
because the thing is like you don't make those throws unless you're being told that this is the read you're supposed to be looking for.
So NFL just tweeted this. The years that Kellen Moore has been there, they've been a top 10 offense every year.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a problem to me.
They were the number one scoring offense.
It sounds
going into
like
the final week.
It sounds like there's a disconnect somewhere, and it's the fucking head coaches you keep hiring, and it's the ownership, because nobody's going to take a head coach serious when Jerry is the end all be all, and Jerry doesn't know anything. He's getting information.
It's more the same.
Yeah, it's more the same cowboy shit that they do every fucking year.
What do you think on this?
He's a scapegoat. He is a scapegoat because they're not going to fire
Kellen Moore a little bit, but I think that he has a big hand in this.
I think that they needed to change somewhere. I would have changed Mike McCarthy. But if
Mike McCarthy's gone, though, the whole staff is. Do you want to get rid of the whole staff?
But the staff was there before then.
You may retain someone like Dan.
You had Dan Quinn before,
so
Mike.
you could promote him to the head coaching position, but then that's like, I don't know. That's
you
shady
don't lose
to
Kellen.
the next regime that comes in. That's like, why would you promote the guy that's underneath me? Like, you're gonna lose out on a lot of candidates with that.
It makes sense. I understand why it might be
But look at what he does.
He stuck with Jason Garrett for a while, though.
Yeah, he was fine with going 8-8 because they make money. They're the number one fucking team. They're the most watched team every year. He doesn't give a fuck about making this team any better. Like, that's the thing.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I just think that
he's made it good enough to where they can continue.
Howie Roseman does it better than Jerry Jones could ever do.
But I don't even want to continue to compare to the Eagles, even though that is the model. It's the same thing with what the Warriors did. I think what they did was the model.
Multiple playoffs, have two Super Bowl bursts in the 27 years.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jones.
But, no, I don't think it's I don't think it's insane of a move, but. We'll see. It depends on who they bring in.
This is
what will change.
I don't know who they could bring in at that point.
This is one of those.
Maybe they were looking to get Hackett because Hackett was
possibly.
I feel like he was with LaFleur before McCarthy.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
But who is I don't know. You can't really.
This is throw a dart at the board and whoever.
You need a quarterback coach to come in that's kind of helping develop a young guy. I'd see I don't know. You could pick someone off even the Eagle staff. You've got what's his name? I'm trying to think of is it Brian Johnson, the quarterback coach? Someone like that that has an intricate offense that has the ability to teach reads to a quarterback. If you're getting that with Dak.
I think it's just time to ask the
Dak
question.
Dak should be able to do this on his own though. He's a fucking 70.
That's what I'm saying. I think the question is Dak it? Is Dak our quarterback going forward? You paid him the money and that sucks. But you've got to start asking because you've gotten farther. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You've gotten farther, but you're still losing the same bonehead ways. You're still
clock
even when you look good,
terrible fucking play.
Even when you look good, you fucking blow the fucking what is it called? You blow the fucking Buccaneers out, but you miss all your field goals.
Yeah.
It's like you do cowboy shit every year. Yeah. And I truly believe that this team is not breaking free from this fucking curse. They are locked in this until Jerry
They are the Chargers of the NFC.
No, I would fucking rather be in the Chargers than the Cowboys.
I don't know.
The only reason you go...
Well, they get injured. I'd honestly not... Yeah. I'd rather have just terrible...
I'd rather have terrible injury luck than ownership that is fucking
that degrades your fucking stars. You don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least that's the reason you're losing, and it's not our owner being too into it. This team isn't going to change until Jerry either steps down and lets somebody else run it or takes his hand off of it. He's got too much input on it for someone who doesn't know anything. Beside him
that's they're.
But why can't Stephen Jones be in the office? Why can't Stephen Jones
have any input? He's not a football guy.
He should if he's in the office learning these things. There's no reason that Jerry Jones is getting an email every week that says this is what we're doing, this is this, and then he's making decisions. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. If Jerry was in there in the fucking practice field more often, he probably would have saw that, hey, I maybe shouldn't pay Dak this money.
Well, he even said whenever he paid him, he overpaid him.
Because he waited so long. But he also could have probably went somewhere else. That's my question is, are we trying to curtail the list to keep Dak as the starter as the Cowboys? Or is Dak just not good enough? I was saying it
a couple weeks ago. I was like, if Dak doesn't perform well in this playoffs, he's probably not going to be there.
Is Dak genuinely...
I think that's a legitimate... But the thing is, his cap hit's so fucking horrendous is that there's not going to be...
How many more years does Dak have on his contract?
Should be only 2... It's been...
we can look at it.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up.
Over the cap probably has it.
4 years, so it's got to be only 2 years left. 2023 is when it's guaranteed up until 2023.
So he'll have to play through next year, and then they can cut him.
Yeah.
But he probably has some dead money.
And I'm not even saying cut him. I'm saying trade and see what you can do. But it's you got to ask yourself.
If he continues to play this bad, you could.
If the Cowboys are this good, CD Lamb's a top 10 receiver. You've got one of the best running games in the league. You've got a defense. Oh fuck, my bad. You've got a defense who's not only young.
They're kind of they're more of a
they pay their own. They won a draft.
They're more of an exceptional case because they're losing Pollard.
Yeah.
Pollard's going to get a big deal. He just fucked up his fibula, so he's not going to be or tibia. It's one of the leg bones. He's going to be hurt. He's going to have to get surgery, not be back until later in the year. So he probably won't sign with the team. And then Zeke, he's got another. He wouldn't be done with the Cowboys until 2027. That's how bad his contract is. They had a lot of dead years onto his contract to spread out that money. But the thing about the Cowboys is that, like, if they wanted to do anything that doesn't necessarily fundamentally change.
Damn, yeah, I was going to say, holy fuck, dude, that just lost them the game.
Yeah.
That just lost them the game.
Oh, no. Is he okay?
He's okay, but it doesn't matter. They're in field goal range. I'm kicking that bitch and getting the fuck out of here.
He's limping so bad.
He's been limping all game.
He's a baller, man.
The fucking bonehead play by whoever defense.
But to let's wrap up Kellen Moore. I feel like they did this to not completely shift their staff. They want to stick with the same guy.
I don't
know who the fuck they're gonna bring in.
As crazy as this sound, I think this is a scapegoat, and he had absolutely no reason to be fired. I mean, every year you've been there, you've been a top 10 offense. It doesn't sound like his fault. It sounds like either somebody else is fucking it over, or the quarterback's just not it.
So you got. Let's move on to Nathaniel Hackett. Takes over the control of the offensive coordinator position with the Jets. Mike LaFleur's out. That could be a potential hire for the Cowboys. Mike LaFleur coming in.
I don't like this one.
I don't like.
I'm
not big on Nathaniel Hackett.
I'm not either. I just don't see how
you
are the head coach of the worst offense in the league and you get an offensive coordinator position back so quick.
Nathaniel Hackett is.
He's never been a coordinator either. He was a fucking a quarterback coach.
That's what I thought. Yeah, okay.
He was the quarterback coach with.
And that's
Rodgers.
the argument I have whenever you go and talk about whenever you look at Ken Dorsey probably could have been in this position where he's getting a coordinator job, but he's the coordinator for the Bills, so he's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because Sean McVay, he was a coordinator with Kyle Shanahan, I think. And that's why he was able to leave to go to the Rams. Those are the places you want to look. Like Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon, they were the two big coordinators that were on the market for a while, and they're sticking with Philly. So that kind of...
Let's fucking go. Barring a kick return, this game is over.
Barring a kick return.
Or unless they take a knee and it's a Hail Mary. I mean, fuck, I'm going to shut my mouth. Fuck around. But we'll come back to that.
Anyways, I don't like this either. I'm with y'all on this. I don't think Nathaniel Hackett makes Zach Wilson is going to be the guy there. I don't necessarily think they figured it out with Mike White. I don't think they figured it out with...
They're the same person. Mike McCarthy and Nathaniel Hackett are the same person. You were made through Aaron.
No, I don't know. I think Mike McCarthy is better than Nathaniel Hackett for sure.
I think just...
But look at what they've done without Aaron. What have they done? What has Mike done besides year in and year out?
They were a division winner last year, and they fucking made it to the
and what did we do all year?
We complained won the playoff game.
We complained about
Mike
clock management.
Better.
Listen, Andy Reid had the issues with the clock management a long fucking time in his career, and he was out of Philly.
Yeah, but I'm not comparing fucking Andy Reid and.
I'm not. I'm just telling you, Andy Reid only has one Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So
that'll get two.
We'll see. We're trying to get there. Anyway, we're trying to get there. But we gotta get through this first.
Anyways, I don't necessarily agree with the Jets on this. I think that they should have definitely had a better. I don't know. They definitely should. I don't see that's the thing with D'Amico Ryan's staff. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of names of, but there's guys that are younger that come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably going to appeal from a lot of staffs across the league. They're going to get upgraded positions within his staff, along with the Jets. Nathaniel Hackett also gets to kind of coordinate what he wants to do from the offensive standpoint. He can pick his staff if he feels like the offensive line isn't performing. Here we go. We got this guy coming in.
This game. I hate this shit. Make the tackle, for the love of God.
This game. All right, we are going to talk about
fucking dumb. Now that the game's over, that was the dumbest fucking play I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry.
There's nothing else they could have done.
He could have not done that, and they're not.
All right, we got two more coaches to talk about. Bill O'Brien going to the Patriots.
Happy.
Back.
It's familiarity.
It just seems like it's a D-Hop.
It's a familiarity. The
thing about that, I think that DeAndre Hopkins doesn't have a good relationship with Bill O'Brien because he got traded.
This isn't a D-Hop ploy.
No, Bill O'Brien was the GM and coach there whenever
I didn't know he was the GM there.
Yeah, he was the GM at the time. He traded DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson and those picks.
That's not going to matter because at the end of the day, DeAndre Hopkins probably likes Belichick more than it anany.
But he's going to be in direct contact.
This isn't a D-Hop play.
Maybe Bill O'Brien gets the most out of him.
This isn't a D-Hop play.
Maybe.
Y'all are thinking about it wrong. Who was Max offensive coordinator at Alabama.
I understand that.
It's Bill O'Brien. This is a familiarity thing. Bill O'Brien's been here and worked under Bill before. This is all a familiarity thing, which I hate familiarity things. The Jeff Saturday move for the Colts, in-house moves, I don't like it.
Things don't get much better unless y'all are able to acquire talent for Mac to throw to.
But
I think the run game's fine. I think the offensive line looks pretty good.
But the thing that you're not understanding is we now have an offensive coordinator who is an offensive coordinator calling plays. Yeah. It's not Matt Patricia. I don't
understand that. I was the one calling it all fucking year. Yeah. That's why I didn't have
everybody
any trust with the Patriots.
I mean, you had 3 defensive...
I picked against y'all every fucking week, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure about that. And it wasn't because I wanted to hate on him. I'm just saying, like, there's no offensive consistency at all. I'm actually a lot... I feel a lot better about the Patriots going next year.
Like, yeah, of course.
Well, yeah, we have an offensive coordinator. We're going to
figure out a lot more about Mac Jones
We're not going to figure out anything about Mac Jones if we don't help him. Nothing he does at this point is a knock on him. We have the worst receiving core in the league. It's not a question. It's not a question.
Titans are fucking trash.
I would rather have Treylon Burks than anybody on our receiving core right now.
I don't know about that.
Treylon Burks is...
I like Jacoby Myers a lot.
But he shouldn't be starting. He should be a 3rd or 4th receiver. That is the point. Devontae Parker should be no higher than a 3rd option. That is the problem.
Yep.
Is we had 3rd and 4th and bench players playing wide receiver.
Yep.
That's it. We had to fucking put Marcus Jones all over the field just to move the ball. He fucking returned the punt against the Jets to win the game. He fucking, against the Bills, he takes that fucking 40. He shouldn't be playing offense. That's how bad this offense is. We want to talk about fucking places devoid of fucking talent. They were creative
to be able to put him in and like.
That's creative, but we shouldn't have to do that. That is a lack of ability.
Maybe that is the case with the level of talent you all have.
You guys aren't doing that with your best fucking defender. You know why? Because you have the ability to produce
I would love to
with
see
the receiver.
Getting some fucking catches as a receiver. He's been talking about it, bro. He's been talking about it.
It's just
but we got one more coach. Talent. Let's talk about Sean Payton a little bit. I feel like all these moves kind of just like block off his ability to get a job. I think the Colts are the Colts, and then you got whoever DeMeco Ryans doesn't choose. I feel like that's the only opening for Sean Payton. The Chargers are sticking with fucking Brandon Staley.
Yeah, they fired everybody else.
They're going to scapegoat everybody but that
It's so crazy. I don't understand why he didn't lose his job.
His decision making is so incredibly terrible.
It's been real bad all year.
I just can't. I don't know. I think that Sean Payton probably doesn't pick up. He did.
I think Sean Payton's...
moved on from Fox though. That's the thing. Like maybe that lends some credibility to the idea that he's going to be looking for.
That's my thing. I don't want to talk about it right now just because of like. He hasn't shown any interest in coaching to me. Outside of moving away from Fox, he hasn't shown any interest. He hasn't said anything. So it's like we're basically speculating on if Gronk is coming back.
Yeah.
Except at least Gronk told us he's not coming back.
So I want to also bring up my opinion of Sean Payton. I think he's a little bit overrated. He never really went above and beyond with the Saints while having Drew Brees other than in the Super Bowl year. And that was over a decade ago. Like, over 2 decades ago. Well, it was, in 2009 or something like that?
I would rather him than a lot of the
yeah, like, I don't think
and that's where I stand on it.
Like, he's one of the best coaching candidates that are available, but I don't think he's going to make... I don't think he's much better than Mike McCarthy at this point.
I don't agree with that at all.
I just don't know. I'm not gonna act like he's horrible or anything, but
I think he's better. I mean, he was the offensive wave. He started this offensive wave. Like, he did. I mean, Drew Brees is the only quarterback no, he's not the only quarterback now because Mahomes has done it and I think Brady has done it. But they're the only quarterbacks that have thrown multiple 5,000-yard seasons. And Drew Brees has the most 5,000-yard seasons.
He will get the best out of, like, a younger quarterback, but, like, there's not a whole lot of team. I mean, I feel like the best spot for him to elevate a team is Denver.
I think we're saying that is because
Russ had a terrible fucking season.
If he doesn't go to a team that's already in a pretty good position, and because let's just say he was the one hired for the Texans. Yeah. They're going to have a bad season.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be looked at as like, oh, you're not as good as you were. He has to go to a
But you
good
can
position
see
already.
The change, though. That's where I argue it, is you can see the change in play. If they look better offensively, even if
they made a lot of moves. Mm-hmm. I feel like they kind of have to recoup a lot of their players on the defensive end. They need to get another receiver. I feel like they don't have a dominant guy. Courtland Sutton's okay, but like Jerry Jeudy's okay, but
they were both hurt so much this year.
And they lost.
And they also had a horrible coach.
Yeah.
they didn't have a run game all year either. Like
Javonte Williams, I heard.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like they had to get Latavius Murray out there trying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happen with the Broncos that people aren't willing to look at
But the second Nathaniel Hackett was gone, they played so much better.
They looked better. Yeah,
they looked a lot.
Who was the interim
I don't even. Couldn't tell you. Russell.
I can't remember who the coach was.
Probably Russell. Yeah.
No.
But we still have more to this.
I mean, we touched on the Eagles coaches a little bit. The thing is that both the coordinators had like openings. Jonathan Gannon was like one. It was the same thing as last year. It was them choosing between Lovey and him. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Gannon. He's our defensive coordinator. I just don't see him getting a job, and that's fine because I actually like Jonathan Gannon. He was the number 2 defense in all the NFL. A lot of the fans don't like him because he plays the sticks and doesn't really like switch up his scheme in terms of getting pressure. But when you're getting pressure with a 4-man rush, there's no reason to complain.
You're forgiven whenever you win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they picked up the personnel to help with the run defense later in the year. After the Texans game, they pick up Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. They instantly make an impact. Yeah, I think Jordan Davis has maybe a year or two to come along and like pick up that role where he's a dominant run stopper like he was at Georgia. Yeah, I'm not gonna act like he's not capable of it. So that's everything on coaching updates or the NFL updates. But let's move on to our top 5 quarterbacks in each conference.
So again,
we can run through this pretty quick because the AFC Championship just finished. Yeah, we're gonna have a live update on both games. So
yes. So again, we need to really make sure everyone knows this is if you are building a franchise today.
Who you're moving forward with in each conference.
Yes. So someone that is older, let's just say Tom Brady, may not make the list because even though he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, he is probably not the quarterback you want to start your franchise with today since he doesn't have many years left. So I say we start with the NFC. You want to start at 5?
Anthony, you go first. We'll round robin this way.
I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
Deep in your notes, huh?
Dak. It's so hard.
Number 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard.
He fell a little bit for me, but I get it.
There's a lot of question marks in this league, like in this division. Yeah. Like, is Jared Goff it? Is Trey Lance going to be good?
You have Stafford.
Geno. But Stafford's older. That's the criteria that holds me out. I don't think.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is as good as Dak. But I think they're very comparable players.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I think they're almost one and the same. But if I had to go with, I'd probably go with Dak just because he's younger. That's the thing is this list is building, going ahead.
Yeah, and that's why my 5th is going to be whoever the 49ers rookie is. I would take Trey over.
I think it should be only Trey.
It is Trey, but I would also take Purdy at this 5 as well.
The 49ers starter, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. The 49ers rookie or young quarterback. If it's Trey, if it's Purdy, who cares? I think either of them is going to prosper at the
Does that lend credibility to Kyle Shanahan's system?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well then, because that's the thing. Like, are you in Kyle Shanahan's system?
Exactly.
Probably not.
Starting your franchise.
But I would take.
If you're guaranteed that Kyle Shanahan, every other quarterback on this list, you obviously have.
Of course, but I'm just gonna say, we've seen. So it's hard to say Trey Lance whenever we haven't seen anything really of him other than him playing in a
I was going to say I don't have either of them in my list,
and I completely get it. And then Brock Purdy has shown that he has at least a glimmer of hope in his play.
I don't know. I think it.
Yeah, I don't think that you can say that he's played horrible.
I'm not saying he's playing horrible, but I
he's
just
shown
don't think,
that he has.
Do I think his skill translate outside of the system? Whereas
maybe not.
That's what he has to be is a system quarterback. Like I don't,
possibly we don't know. We've seen
that's where this list. This is where this list is even harder because we're taking system out of it. It's just look at package.
I know, and you're saying that it shouldn't even be him. It should only be Trey. We've seen one game from Trey, and then an injury. And he hasn't played football in 4 years.
But I like the Trey. I like what Trey brings to the table more than I like what Purdy brings.
Which is fair, but I'm just saying neither of them are established enough that you could say that.
But I could make an argument. I could make an argument that.
I can too.
I can make an argument that our top 2 quarterbacks, Trey does as good as them in the same system because he is of that player.
But we don't know that. We literally haven't seen him.
Yeah, but
I mean, he didn't really utilize his skill set within those starts that we. Necessarily,
but I don't think he's ever going to get the ability to fully utilize his skill set because of the ability to run. I don't think Shanahan is going to. That's not his. He's not a quarterback running.
Well, he did. He drew up the quarterback draw, and that's what got him hurt.
But drawing one play compared to your entire system, which is based on running between the tackles of your running back over the past 8 the whole years you've been there, it's not like
it's hard to say that he wouldn't if he had Trey Lance. We saw that he ran a quarterback draw that got Trey Lance.
I think we
think, but we don't.
I feel
know.
Like it's going to be it'll be a play action. That's where his thing will come in, is the play action.
Both of these quarterbacks are extreme don't knows. We don't know about either of these. Neither of them even. Neither of them have 10 stops.
Of 10 starts. A third of the season with Brock Purdy, he was able to make it to the NFC Championship. I think that if he's healthy, he doesn't play. I mean, he actually plays.
But we had to take the system out of this. Out of the system is Purdy. Well,
if you're separating the system from the quarterback, you're also degrading his. I don't know, his success within. Yeah.
Okay, if we take away Jalen's offensive line, Jalen is good. We don't fucking know. We don't fucking know.
We saw it. We saw it last year, though. We do know. We saw it. We saw that Jalen has the ability. We see that it wasn't as good as it was this year.
It was about the same as last year.
Yeah, it's literally just as good.
A.J. Brown made a difference.
Yes.
But Justin Fields, that's the thing, is you see with Justin Fields, no matter who's there, the play shows that, hey, he can
and there's a reason that Trey and Purdy are 5.
All right. So
I don't think Purdy should be on the list at all, personally.
Well, and I think that you have no more argument that Trey should be on this list than Purdy.
Trey has better skills at the position than Purdy.
I'm with that argument.
I get that, but
he's not even on your list.
You're completely.
Or is he on your list?
Yeah, you're completely.
No, he's not in my top 5.
So Trey's not on your list?
No, not in my top 5.
I don't know. I just think it's a weird agenda.
Would you argue for Jimmy G over both those guys?
No.
Okay.
It's not an agenda against Trey.
Not against Purdy.
It's not an agenda against. I can objectively say Trey's a better quarterback than Purdy because he has more skills at the position. His arm's better. He can run.
Does he use them to
out of system? That's what I'm saying. Out of system. Who does better, Trey or Purdy?
Trey played one game in the system.
And Brock doesn't.
Trey has the abilities to excel in more systems than
Brock
Purdy.
Is a playmaker. He's able to get out of the pocket. He's a smaller stature guy, but he's also got the arm. He's not a terrible guy. He's not a terrible quarterback. I'd take him over a lot of guys in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
I don't agree.
Who's your 5?
My 5 is going to be Dak.
Yeah.
I think he's a good. I feel like this season's kind of an outlier for him in terms of the volume of turnovers. Mm-hmm. Haven't seen this since his second year because he had a little bit of a drop. Get him with a good coordinator, and I feel like because Kellen Moore's been there since even before Jason Garrett left. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I feel like if they switch it up, kind of shift their scheme to fit their personnel a little bit better because they don't really have a versatile offensive line like Trent Williams, how he's able to run across the field, Jason Kelsey, these guys that have mobility, they're not able to pull at all. They don't run any gut plays. They don't run. I don't know. They don't really run a lot of. They run a lot of zone and they run a lot of screens underneath plays. They don't really get. But we got to take scheme plays
out of it. How does their ability at the position translate to building a franchise?
I've seen Dak play within an explosive offense and a lot of anticipatory offense where he's phenomenal, an MVP candidate. Yeah. And I think that the level of talent around him definitely matters, but he's also in the NFC.
Yeah.
Which there's not a whole lot of talent there. Not that there's not a whole lot of talent, but I just don't think there's the depth of the position.
Yeah,
it's not even close to the AFC.
It's got to be how it's got to be how you can't think of scheme. It's got to be how your abilities at the position. Well, I can only go off of
what I've seen Dak play in and the scheme he's played in with Kellen
But
Moore.
We've seen that he's also we've seen that he's, even if we're going to compare it to the Trey Purdy, he's a better passer than they are.
Yeah.
He's
that's
what separates it is he can excel.
I knew this was coming. We are comparing 7 years of a quarterback versus 7 games of a quarterback.
All right, then compare him to Goff.
He's better than Goff. Has 7 years too.
He's better than Goff.
Who?
Dak.
Goff's not on my list, and Dak's not on my list either.
Okay, we're gonna move. We need to go through the list because.
So I'm not comparing either of them because I'm not putting either of them on the list. But when you're comparing them to a rookie or someone that's only been in the league 2 years, you're gonna.
No, I'm comparing them against every quarterback in the NFC.
I don't think. Here's the thing. the way you're making definitive statements about what you know Trey Lance is, I would not make those same statements about Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I don't think.
But I think anybody that watches the two play from what they played, like, and don't even take the NFL. Take college. You've seen.
We just talked about
Trey
how college
Lance
doesn't translate.
It doesn't translate because Josh Allen's a far better player in the NFL than he was in college.
He learned from NFL coaching, though. He still had those tools at Wyoming.
Take the coaching out, though.
Yeah,
you're literally arguing about
but that's
coaching out.
But you're not understanding what I'm saying. Josh Allen was going to excel like that anyways because he always had the skills. All he needed was NFL level quarterback coaching.
How do you know he lands with a coach that is capable of taking advantage of his?
I think most quarterback coaches in the league probably would have been able to take advantage of that.
Hackett would have
the package.
Sam Darnold failed under the Jets.
Yeah,
failed, and he's a far better player than he's given credit for.
But
you think Josh Allen or Josh Rosen fucking flames out like that? If he doesn't have a better coaching staff around him in Arizona, probably not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Zach didn't make our list, any of our list, and it's because one, Zach makes a lot of terrible decisions, but it's also because Zach
is not a good quarterback.
Well, it also is because he's not getting coached up.
He's not getting the support.
Yeah, his coaching system is not helping. The Jets' quarterback coaching system is not.
Nathaniel Hackett. Let's see what he does with Nathaniel Hackett. If he looks like a top 3 or top 5 AFC quarterback next year, you can't take that away from him just because it's the system. It's a better coach. Like, at his best.
I'm not thinking of system at all. I'm thinking of how their skill set translate across the league.
I'll spoil it. Jared Goff is on my list for the NFC.
Yeah.
He has the best coaching staff he's ever been with, and that's talking. I mean, that's saying a lot considering he had fucking.
But if you're starting your franchise with a quarterback, you're probably going to start the support system around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking him. Let's say we're taking them at their high.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're saying this is the level he's reached, and I'm willing to go forward with that, knowing that that's possible with him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Dak's highest is better than a majority of the league.
Yeah,
that's where I'm going with it. I don't think that Brock Purdy Brock Purdy made it to.
I'm not even talking about them. We don't have to keep flashing back to them.
Yeah.
We can flash back to other quarterbacks, Geno, Stafford, other these things.
I have Dak above them.
They're exactly.
Yeah. That's Geno hasn't had the prolonged history of having success.
Yeah. So why? But exactly what you said. Why is everybody so quick to jump on Purdy's bandwagon?
He's shown a lot of.
Is he shown that he's better than Geno?
Well, you're also talking about your list compared to Brennan's. Brennan just sees it, and he's saying within the system of Kyle Shanahan, either one of those quarterbacks he would take moving forward.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even saying that. I am saying that. So you're taking 7 years off of a player.
Yeah.
With Dak versus
7 games.
No, I'm just taking off
versus
what
Purdy.
his skills
No. I'm just saying how long has Dak been in the league?
7 years.
7 years, yeah. So you have 7 years of potential that Purdy could get up to Dak's level. If you put the support group around a quarterback that we saw does have the assets around him, he's.
I don't know why Purdy keeps getting brought up in this.
Because that's my fit. That's who you're arguing on my list.
No, I'm not arguing on your list. I'm just arguing that.
You did.
We got to take system. We can't look at the system
That's not
at
by
all.
accident. I understand that
I am not arguing for or against Purdy. That is his pick. He can do that. I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to say that objectively, Purdy is not as good of a quarterback as Dak. He's never been. Look at the skills. Look at the skills at what Dak does.
And this is
Look
my
at
argument.
the skills at the time that Dak came in the league. He's better than Purdy.
Purdy's
That's
made
just
an
the
NFC
fact.
championship, and Dak has never made it. So,
but who is better at the position?
I don't know.
Who has more skills at the position?
The same way I had the argument last year whenever we were talking about the trade talks with Jalen Hurts for Deshaun Watson or fucking.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that Deshaun Watson doesn't do more than Jalen at the position.
The philosophy difference. Brennan's willing to go with youth and
yes, that's my biggest. That's all I'm
Brock Purdy
taking.
has. Whereas I was willing to go off potential with Jalen Hurts. He's the best quarterback in the NFL outside of Mahomes this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the projection that he's considering.
But when we're talking about coming to building a team, we're talking about how do their skills translate, regardless of the people who are there.
I get where you're
going.
And I didn't say that Dak is the wrong choice.
I'm not.
You are saying that against me.
No, I'm not.
You literally just said Purdy was the wrong choice.
I said I don't agree that Purdy. Oh, talking about Trey and Purdy, I don't agree Trey, but I'm not comparing Trey or Purdy to Dak.
You literally just said it.
No, I just said I don't think that Purdy is that high or should be that high.
Well, that's saying it's wrong then.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying it's his choice.
Well,
but
we could go on forever.
I'm just asking. Look at the position. Look at the skills. Do they translate better than any other quarterbacks? That's what a lot of the NFC is you're nitpicking off what can they do with.
Let's move.
I think both of our top twos are right.
We've been on this discussion for like 5 minutes now. Let's continue with our list because we got 10 guys to go through. We're going to bring this up a little bit more, obviously. I'll go to the AFC side. I got my fifth.
Oh, we're going to switch back and forth, AFC, NFC?
Yeah. Just go NFC. It doesn't make any sense. We're talking about the NFC. We're just going to
do 5, like 5
yeah,
all the way up. But
we're going to bounce back.
It don't matter either way.
I feel like that's the best way to do it. So you don't reveal your top pick,
I think it'd be.
Well, what do you mean? That's objectively
5 up
saying
on the NFC and then 5 up on the AFC.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All
right.
So my fourth in the NFC, I've got Kyler Murray. I feel like
we might have the exact same list.
I do too. I have Kyler as well.
I have golf on mine. You have golf on yours?
No.
Exactly.
So I have Kyler as well.
So my argument for Murray being this low, I could even have him as low as 5 or 6. Is the intangibles aspect. I feel like there's something there with his study clause, and I think there's also something there with his relationships. Being like driving Cliff Kingsbury out after he gets an extension, I don't think that's necessarily great for the organization.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to be traded. Like, how do you rise above that as a quarterback who's uber talented?
Kyler's talent is easily 1 at 2 at its worst in the NFC. Talent-wise, NFC, it's hard to say that he's any worse than the second most talented quarterback. The way that he can run, the way that he can pass.
Third because I have Hurts and Fields above him.
Okay.
In terms of talent, I think that as a running threat, both of those guys are better than Kyler.
I
think Kyler is like. He doesn't.
I agree with that.
But
they don't have the arm that Kyler has.
He doesn't use his scrambling ability.
Talent.
I don't think it's close running wise.
He doesn't use the scrambling ability to pick up yardage. He uses it to extend plays.
You also have to think about size.
Throw it downfield. Yeah. That's the thing about Kyler I love.
And I understand sizes.
You also have to think about size in the sense of like he's not doing the running that Jalen and Justin are because
Kyler Murray has a way
men.
better playmaking aspect to him than Jalen Hurts or Justin Fields have. I just take the stability over
where Justin and Jalen.
He is 4 on my list. Because, and we all have him at 4, so we're all arguing the same thing here. Yeah. But he is 4 on my list because of the exact same reasons you said. Yeah. That was my argument for you all. Is his talent is, I think, top 2.
As high as 2 or 1 or even.
I think you could argue that Kyler's the most talented, skill based.
It doesn't just always.
I don't agree with that.
But it's his attitude and the way that everything around him they don't seem to.
It's a toxic sort of situation.
Yeah, there's something wrong there. Like no one wants to be around him, and that's why I have him at 4.
He's a toxic person. He's shown that he's a toxic person.
He's lived to the same degree that
Aaron
Rodgers.
Watch the Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
you will see how bad
you don't want to isolate
even when he's talking about the team and we're all injured, this and that. You still getting a sense of I'm out here doing my thing. Like that's not good.
And my other point is if I'm starting a franchise, I don't want to start with a
piece of shit.
A quarterback that is going to make everyone else around him him.
It's the Rodgers problem.
And he's still 4 because of his talent.
It's the Rodgers, yeah. So, I will kind of disagree with you on the talent-wise. I think he's 4th.
I figured you.
But because, in my opinion, and this will be from what I've seen, Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback at the position I've ever seen in my life. What he's able to do
is ascended beyond him.
Well, yes, now. Yeah. But I'm saying before Mahomes, it was Aaron Rodgers. The entire package. Now, if we're talking about NFC quarterbacks, I still do think he's probably the most talented.
Who is Aaron?
Yeah, just because of everything he's able to do.
You wouldn't take him just because of age and
Yeah, I wouldn't. He's not in my top 5 because of age and the amount of times he's already talked about retiring. There's just too much uncertainty there, and the Kyler problem. Everybody around him does not like being there. Yeah. The thing
that's why I didn't want this to necessarily just be like a skill based, who's the best type of quarterback. I feel like this is a more nuanced
the reason
discussion.
I'm looking at it like that is because when you're doing what would you build your franchise around? You're building it around what their ability is to play at the end of the day. That's the number one. Mm-hmm. That's the and I know this is goofy to say, it's a completely different situation, but look at the old Cowboys and what they did when they got Charles Haley from the 49ers. They went and won Super Bowls. The talent outweighed the problems. Yeah. I don't think in Kyler's instance, over the people I have above him, the problems outweigh. Yeah. I think the talent's there, and I also think that Jalen and Justin, with comparable offenses, can do easily what Kyler's doing. I mean, Jalen showed it. I can do what Kyler does.
Yeah.
and better.
But I also take into account, like, I feel
but
like
we also don't, a lot
this
of these,
is the kind of Colin Cowherd analysis where you like psychoanalyze a quarterback. Like, what does he bring to the table in terms of like stability for your
the good thing about the NFC is there's two of those.
Yeah.
There's two quarterbacks.
I feel like Dak is that to a degree.
No, I think everybody likes being around Dak.
He has the intangibles.
But people will fight for Dak.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That's what I like about him.
I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is like he goes to his next job and Kyler Murray is on the block. I don't think he's like, oh, we got to go get him because I played with him. Yeah. Same thing with Rodgers. Is like I think people who get away with Rodgers generally find out they like it better.
Yeah.
Like Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Like he probably likes winning more. He probably likes the winning that brings with Rodgers. But does he like dealing with Rodgers on a day-to-day basis?
It seems like he misses him. I ain't gonna lie.
But that's the play.
Yeah.
He misses the play. Yeah. He doesn't miss the person because at the end of the day, the person is what the reason that Devontae is in the Raiders at all is because he took too long to get his contract situated. Like that is a good angle to look at it.
Yeah. You want to go with your third?
My third?
Yep.
Yeah. It's Lance.
Yep. Trey Lance. Okay.
I do.
Man.
The thing is,
you really value his skill set, and I don't necessarily know.
But look at the top. Look at how the top quarterbacks are starting to become. Mm-hmm. Lamar, Jalen, like they're like I think Jalen is going to ascend into this upper echelon of quarterback because of the versatility. It's the same thing I say with Debo. It's the same thing I say with Christian McCaffrey. If you can do more at the position they play, you're just better.
I just don't think we've seen enough of it.
And that is the argument. Is we haven't seen enough of it. But I think
because we haven't seen because you saw it with Mahomes in his second year.
Yes.
We haven't seen that yet with Trey Lance. But I'm not acting like it won't be there.
This is also another thing I'm going to go with that people have seen with Mahomes and Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And this is kind of back talking because it is talking about coaching staff. Mm-hmm. But the coaching staff's also both solid in practice. Mm-hmm. Like, holy fuck, we get him on the field. Right, you've heard about how Travis Kelce was talking about Mahomes. He was vouching for him that whole year. Mm-hmm. Alex Smith was there. Like, dude, we got to get this kid on the field. Like, I'm thinking if NFL level players or NFL level coaching is seeing that, and especially somebody as smart as a Kyle Shanahan to where he's willing to move, there's something there. Yeah. And that's my argument is that, and I don't even want to keep talking, but like they didn't do that for Purdy. They did it for Lance. Yeah. You don't do that for somebody like that. You do it for Justin Fields.
We can't just act like that's
you don't
the only
do
argument though, because like Brady wasn't moved for like that, and he's the greatest of all time.
That was fucking.
Mahomes wasn't even.
Who would have thought?
Mahomes didn't.
That's one of those.
I'm just saying, like even Mahomes did not yield a package that great.
But you saw the ability. It's the same thing with Mahomes. Is you saw.
Yeah, but you didn't think it was going to turn into
Allen.
That. Yeah, Josh Allen. Like they didn't really move up. I don't think though. The Bills didn't.
But they saw they saw that.
Well, they're lucky the Bills didn't take him.
Yeah.
Or not the Bills, but the Browns, because the Browns had the opportunity, but they took Baker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even Rosen going.
I'm not going to say people are wrong.
Rosen went. Rosen went what? 10th or 11th, I think. So I don't know.
I think he was even scapegoated. I mean, he's not. I mean, obviously he's not a great quarterback, but I think if you get 1 year in a system and then you're out, even though it is moving to Kyler Murray, that I still think there was.
But that was my argument.
The offense was never behind you to begin with.
Yeah.
Like the team was never behind you to begin with.
My third is Aaron Rodgers.
Even now?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think that he's obviously the most proven. That is so
surprising coming from you.
Yeah. Well, he's the most proven.
The NFC quarterbacks are hard.
It is hard. And I mean it's hard to say that he's not still the best quarterback in the NFC if given the talent around him.
Yeah.
You took away his number one receiver, he struggled really bad, but I could also argue that they had
worst starting of a season ever.
They had the worst receiving core up until the fucking last 4 games.
Christian Watson had 9 touchdowns over
Christian
like 5
Watson
games.
is infinitely better than
that's why I said before the last 5 games. Before the last 5 games, they had the worst receiving core. Them motherfuckers.
Patriots receiving core sucks.
Right, you realize bottom three? Can you give me that?
Like
the Packers, the Titans, and y'all. I think are like the 3 bottom teams. Even the fucking,
they're bumps.
I think it was just so.
The Texans.
I think Aaron is a big product in that.
Are the Texans worse than y'all?
But
I think the Texans are probably worse than y'all.
I'd rather have Brandon Cooks than anybody on our fucking team.
Not as a whole though. Like that's the only guy you got.
But my argument for Rodgers is he is still that guy. I think that he wants to play. I think he's just kind of fucking tired of it.
Yeah, he wants to make a championship game.
Yeah, he wants to win the championship.
He wants
and if you build around him and maybe don't put him in a piece of shit place like Green Bay, you probably have.
I don't think Green Bay's the problem. I think it
doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
It
doesn't help in terms of free agency and stuff.
Get him in Dallas.
I think there's a good argument to say that people don't want to play in Green Bay.
That's the problem. That's why I was saying free agency wise,
yes. So on that note, if I was starting a franchise, I just luck out and I don't have to, and I'm in Miami and I take Aaron Rodgers and everyone wants to go play. I think that you're looking at
my God,
one of the best.
Aaron Rodgers on Miami would be fucking ridiculous.
Because you have players like Tyreek Hill who are just like, look, I know I'm in a great situation. I just want to go play where it's fucking nice. He is
the second most skilled quarterback in the league right now, in my opinion.
Oh man,
and just what he can do with the ball, it's him and Mahomes.
I mean,
Burrow is good.
I think Allen's there too.
Allen is good, but are they better? That's the thing.
I think Allen right now is better than Rodgers, just because his running ability.
His running ability is so much better.
At the position,
throwing wise.
It's the whole argument that I have with the reason the quarterbacks at the top of my list are at the top. Because you can do more.
And I understand that. And that's why they're not above the two above them.
But as a thrower, purely, he's probably the second best. Because I think Mahomes is probably the best.
Rodgers can put the ball anywhere, whereas Allen makes
But there's 5 quarterbacks in the league that can do that. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Rodgers, Trevor. I'm willing to say
Rodgers doesn't get the ball there quick, whereas Allen's ball is sudden.
Allen throws.
You see a lot of drops because of how fast the ball is tracking to the receiver.
Josh Allen tries to throw it through people.
I feel like he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. Josh Allen is fucking phenomenal. He destroyed y'all in that last game. He was the reason that they won that game. He was the reason they won a lot of games this year.
I think Rodgers is worth the and why not Tom Brady? Tom Brady does seem like he is on the ass end of his career.
Yeah, I think
Rodgers could play another 5 years maybe, but it has to be in a good situation. Yeah. And I think that if
he's
you
going to have to be max protected.
And I think if you put Rodgers in that great situation, he'll play another 5 years.
He was
I think
dealing with the thumb injury all year too.
I think if you put Tom Brady in the best situation, he wins the Super Bowl, he is fucking done. Regardless on if he plays an MVP level, he's done. He's just maybe chasing that one more.
All right.
I honestly don't know why he's still playing. He talks so much about fucking he's doing the same shit Favre did, and it's annoying. You talk so much about fucking wanting to retire and how you're done with it, then be done. Quit bringing attention to yourself and taking your front office's attention away from fixing the team around you because they don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right.
And then your third.
So my third is Jared Goff. I feel like this is probably his career season.
Yeah. He was 6 on mine.
He's right there.
Yeah.
I feel like
hard.
his demeanor is just there's something about him. I don't know.
He's not combative. He's always been super coachable. He is
elevating younger guys to be able to be right there at the end of the season, being able to make it to the playoffs.
Well, it shows when you have a coach that believes in you. Because look at what he was. He was not a scrub at the Rams.
They were a top 5 offense. If they had the defense to go along with it, they're in the same situation the 49ers and the Eagles are. If they had the personnel, the defenses like Philly or San Francisco, they're in the fucking game.
I think Goff would have made my list if I felt like he was the team captain.
Was he not?
He might be the literal team captain, but whenever you're looking at they're down, they need to be hyped up. I didn't see Jared Goff hyping them up.
Williams.
It was Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like
I don't think he doesn't have that personality.
And and I get that, and that would be my argument against Trevor Lawrence, but I think Trevor Lawrence.
He's not the voice
younger.
in the huddle.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence
the same kind of guy like that.
Yes.
Wentz, fucking I don't know, Tua.
Yeah.
Tua's not like that. Whereas Jalen Hurts, he steps up.
Yeah, but I don't think that if you had a team that was kind of out of it, I don't think. If Goff is your guy, I don't think that he's going to elevate your team to believe in he's going to make them that Super Bowl
I think
team.
he's in the perfect position. And this is why I didn't have him on my list.
I'm just arguing why he wasn't on my list. Yeah.
But the reason I don't have him on my list is because I think he's in the perfect position. They believe in him. They've got good pieces around him. Just let him stay there and do his thing. Don't take him out. As much as I don't want to talk about systems with this, I don't want to move him into another system because I feel like
you can make the argument that even Geno deserves the credibility over Goff in this.
Yes,
sense.
In this sense,
but
very much
so. Moving forward, I feel like Geno's been in the league longer. He's
Yes.
he's in a contract year. Jared
Geno
Goff,
over
like
Jared? It's just
No.
younger.
We're talking about just this one aspect of the team will rally behind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Goff
Geno's
just
more
doesn't have that
vocal.
for me.
I think the thing that gets quarterbacks are the vocal ones.
Yeah.
Like the only quarterbacks we complain about are the ones that are quiet. Rodgers, whose body shows.
I don't even feel like Rodgers is quiet. I just feel like he's abrasive. He's abrasive. He's got a lot of body language that isn't read well.
His body is what shows you.
Yeah.
Whereas like
I don't think Goff.
We all have the
you're not
soft
going to
too,
hear
though.
about Goff.
Goff
because
rides
he's
the
not-
highs, but he also really gets down with the lows. Like if he fucks up, he sits in that.
Yeah.
He didn't score a point against y'all, and that was like his lowest point in the season. Couldn't score a point against the Patriots, and he felt it.
Yeah.
I think he like sits on it. He wears his emotions on his sleeve quite a bit.
But we all have the same top two, right?
Yeah, I got
And in the same order?
yeah,
Justin and Jalen.
yeah.
Justin 2, Jalen 1.
Justin Fields 2, and Jalen Hurts 1.
Yeah.
You can just do more with them.
Yeah.
It's
Justin.
I think the throwing ability for Hurts is obviously better than Fields.
he
also,
has better receivers. Let's preface it. We don't know if the same thing you want. If we
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
talk about the we don't know.
But I saw
Yeah.
I saw Justin Fields have wide open opportunities,
and I
miss.
saw Daryl Mooney drop him too.
Yes.
But he literally he was throwing.
I'll make the same fucking arguments.
Like,
Yep.
dude, like Justin
got
this is
some
what's
bones.
hard. This one's really hard because I
do-
can't 100% say that Justin doesn't do the same thing that Jalen does with the exact same team.
The only difference for me is I will say, like, I don't think I think it's close in both.
Jalen is came from passing systems,
I think
though.
Jalen does pass a little better than Justin, but I think Justin runs a little bit better than Jalen. I think they're closer than what people will give him credit because Justin had a fucking run every play. He had to run the ball 30 times a game.
We're giving
versus
I think y'all are underrating Jalen's his improvement in terms of throwing the football.
No, I'm not at all. I think you are underrating Justin throwing. Justin,
We're talking about the best passer from the pocket in terms.
Look at the
a guy that had
receivers.
the guy
You have
that-
AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas
I think-
Goedert, dude. Like
I
that-
think
Make
Justin,
that same argument for Patrick Mahomes his entire career.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can make it this year when he's only got Travis Kelce, and look what he
But
did.
he's
Still
got
the
Travis
best
Kelce
quarterback in
still.
the league. But is that 5,000 yards worth of Travis Kelce?
But that-
Jalen is above Justin. We all did agree on this.
Yeah.
So
It's
at the
the-
end
it's
of the
literally
argument,
the
we all
space that,
still.
like,
But Justin's never proven to me that he's a top tier passer. From
he doesn't
the
have
pocket.
the ability to. Jalen is not showing you the year he had this year without AJ Brown. That's a fact.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
But we saw what he looked like with Devontae.
He may
in
not
Dallas.
be number one in the NFL.
Yes.
But he may have made the jump to where he's like a top 10 passer from the pocket. You know what I mean?
I think it helps a lot. I think
So,
having a number one receiver helps a lot.
I'm also not.
And
the reason why I have Justin second is
And a
because
number two, and a tight end that you can throw to, and the best run game in the league.
the
A
actual
defense
like
that works.
But all right,
when
Jacob,
it comes
your point.
when it comes to Justin Fields,
Yes.
the reason why I have him two is because I am lending credibility to his actual style of play. Like he's a playmaker.
Yes.
He can run the ball and he can also make the throws when they're there. He just needs the support around him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is his highest highs the same as like getting to the Super Bowl or being an MVP candidate? Probably.
Yeah.
I'm not going to discount that or act like it can't happen. We've just seen it with Jalen.
And all right, so what you just said is they're so close in age
Yeah.
that now I'll take the sample size. Justin, I believe, will be one, but I know Jalen can. And that's my argument. Like, I've seen that Jalen can be a top 3 quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I believe Justin can.
Yeah.
And that's my difference
And
here
I don't
on
think
why
it's, I don't
Jalen
even
is
thi-
one
I
and
don't
Justin
think
is
it's
2.
tied to bias either because you are a Chicago fan.
Yeah, of course.
The
But
hardest thing.
I just think that he has the skill set.
The hardest
You
thing
got to get the
do
support from the
is-
fucking team. Like
Yeah.
they're the fucking
That's
worst
exactly
offense
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
And
NFL.
I'd be supporting
Is the
those
hardest
guys.
thing is Justin has never had
He had less
anywhere
than
near
50
a comparable
completions.
offense that
Yeah.
Jalen has had.
He had less than 50 completions in 5 games.
Yeah.
Like we need to slow it down because it's not his fault. I don't think
Yeah.
they're not calling pass plays for him, but they shifted their offensive style. Or who's the coach there?
I
Eberflus.
always want to say
It was
Nagy,
Eberflus.
but it's not.
It was Eberflus.
Yes.
Like I feel like Nagy would get the most out of him now. You know what I mean? Because
Maybe.
he's an offensive coach.
Yeah.
Eberflus is the defensive coach.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, I don't know.
You can't. It's a product of at this. Once again, it's on and honestly,
Go
I feel
pair
like the number.
Jackson
Yeah.
Smith with Justin Fields.
We don't
Like,
need to argue too much on this. We all are arguing.
I
the
feel
same
like they're
point.
the same. I feel like genuinely it should be 1A, 1B because
on your list.
I'm hard to press to say that Justin doesn't do as good with the offense that the Eagles have. Because the only thing that we can go off of is sample size of what they played.
Yeah. So,
because they're so similar.
Okay.
That's the problem. That, like, when we're looking at package, who's to say, like...
You're lending more credibility to Jalen's system around him, whereas I think that if he's on a shitty team, he makes them a lot better.
Exactly like he said. Justin's a better runner. Jalen's a better passer, but Jalen's came from passing systems even in college, so he's learned more.
The gap from for the passing for me though is far.
But
like
I can't say that it is because I
think Justin's a better passer than even Lamar is right now.
I can't even say that.
I think that
because he doesn't have the ability to show us. He doesn't have the ability to show us because
Lamar's
he doesn't have the pieces around him.
Lamar's never been an elite passer from that standpoint either.
3,500 yards in an MVP season is like on a run
Jalen
first
Hurts'
team.
season is better than
You
Lamar's
had better
MVP.
receivers than Lamar's ever had.
Okay,
that's the thing is Jalen's gotten the most help out of all of these teams.
He has more production this season with 2 less games than Lamar had in that season.
Okay, and a better team.
Are we arguing that Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar?
No, because he's not.
I would.
That's not true.
But we ain't doing that because we're gonna move on to the AFC.
Right, get the AFC.
Because I mean, come on, like we all had the same. Like we all had these top 2. You were saying it's more 1A 1B, but like we're arguing the same points here.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah,
just bringing my point up. I think
you all are more on the side of like Justin Fields could meet the level of Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying he can't do that.
The same thing that you guys were saying
like,
to me about Purdy is the same thing I'm saying about Jalen. Is I am not willing to say Jalen's outright better because the systems aren't the same.
And that's what I brought up.
The ability, the pieces around him are not the same, and that's just the fact.
Do you think it's all on the supporting cast?
Yes. Look how different. Look how different. You were not a Super Bowl team. You got bounced in the first round. You are now a Super Bowl team with what your team put around your quarterback. And that is a fact. You're not there with Jalen.
I don't think he means it as disrespectful as it seems.
Yeah, you're not there without AJ. You're not there without getting Ndamukong Suh halfway through the season. You're not there through drafting Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. Like, you're not there without the pieces around him, whereas he doesn't have the pieces around him at all. Well, and he can't show you that he can do the same things. If he's doing the same things as Jalen without the pieces, it's a knock on Jalen. Because that just shows right there that Justin's clearly better.
I mean, you can say that from a offensive, like a rushing standpoint, just because he had more yards and stuff. But like as a runner, like scoring touchdowns and stuff, like
But
there's more metrics I'm taking into account too. As a red zone quarterback, Jalen's better. As a in the pocket.
But look how easier it is for Jalen to be better with the pieces around him.
You would not make the same argument with.
It's hard. It's hard not to make the argument with look how bad the Bears are.
You can't.
It's so hard. Like it is.
What about Trevor Lawrence to Jalen Hurts? You wouldn't give.
Look what Trevor Lawrence. Look what they did. They went and got him help. They got him a quarterback.
Who's better, Jalen Hurts or Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor.
That's fucking stupid. How?
I wouldn't say that. I would say Jalen.
I would think with
they have comparable pieces.
I think not at all. Who's on Who's on AJ Brown's level?
Now,
who's on Devontae Smith's level?
Now Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is one of those.
Now.
Yes. Okay. And that's why I very prefer.
But he hasn't played with them yet.
Yes.
We're like, who's to say that you got like? Yeah, that's the big thing.
I'm just gonna take the win where we got it. Like we all have him won. I just think he's gonna prove it. Like he's solidified himself to me as the third best quarterback in the NFL.
But like
this year.
This year
I have him at 2 as the second best quarterback this year.
But to me, he can continue that. I just don't think you all agree that he can continue it at this level. Which
it's hard because this is why I wanted to do a top 10 list. Because this list changes.
Would you bet on him doing it?
I wouldn't bet on him being a top 2 quarterback.
You would not bet on him.
I would not bet on him being the second best quarterback in the league moving in the next 5 years.
What if he dominates in the Super Bowl? Are y'all going to give it all to the receivers on that?
No. I'm not giving it all to the receivers.
That's what I'm getting.
I'm not giving it all to the receivers.
You're more on that argument where he isn't.
But you cannot argue that it did not completely change your team.
I'm not saying it didn't.
It completely changed the way you got.
But
the way
the thing
you
is that if he also didn't make the growth where like he is he is putting the ball in perfect position for AJ Brown to make those plays. Yeah. If that's Justin Fields overthrowing it, you're not giving him credit for that. You know what I mean? Like it'd be the same thing as like Jalen Hurts is underthrowing those passes. Tua Tagovailoa underthrowing Tyreek Hill in those situations. We gave him shit for that.
But that was always his problem.
I mean? But my other thing is, and this is year to year, and I think that if you give Justin a top receiver, which is to your argument, that you would see the growth there.
I do.
But the thing that we have seen less of is Jalen has made a lot of good decisions. Justin made a lot of bad decisions, but
it's a product of your
decision making into account.
You don't have an offensive line. You can't run the ball.
Look
and you
at
don't
how
have
Jalen Hurts
receivers
played
that can
today.
help.
He didn't make any mistakes today.
Yes.
That's good.
We
but look at the team. It's a lot easier.
It's
a lot easier to not make mistakes with that team when you know your defense isn't going to make mistakes.
I'm not completely.
You know your receivers going to catch.
No. I'm not going to say that that's not a fact.
Because to be completely honest, as crazy as this is to say, neither of Justin or Jalen are anything higher than 5 to me overall. All quarterbacks. Because I think the top 5 for the AFC are probably the top 5 quarterbacks to go with.
I think this is a perfect transition.
This is a perfect transition.
Yeah.
But these, in my opinion, are the top 5 quarterbacks to build.
So who's your 5?
Trevor. Let me make sure.
I got Trevor as well, but
I'm 95%.
Trevor's my 5.
Damn, man.
No. Trevor's higher for you?
Different, yeah.
No, mine's Allen.
Okay.
Which is crazy.
Okay, mine's Allen as well.
Son of a bitch, I got the same one.
But
so you have Lawrence at 5?
The problem with Allen is his turnovers.
So that's why you put him at 5 rather than moving up on this list. Yes. Is the turnovers.
Whereas I don't think the people I have above him will turn the ball over as much as just from what I've seen.
Yes.
Now it's hard because I have somebody who hasn't played a crazy amount over him.
That's hard
but
to
the top 3 they have, and they've shown that I'm not going to turn the ball over as much, and I'm a safer pick at the position.
Yeah, and my argument for this will be the reason I have Trevor at 5 rather than 4, and I think this can absolutely change with the addition of Calvin Ridley. But for me, if you had Trevor, because he's not going to run, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you had Trevor throw the ball as much as they put the ball in Josh Allen's hands,
who's better?
I think that Trevor's going to turn the ball over just as much as
Here's
Josh.
the thing, with all those turnovers,
but that's a big what if.
I think that argument's valid because he put his team in a position to lose with those turnovers.
Yes.
He's still second in the NFL in QBR.
Yes.
That matters.
So
I think
that's
that Josh Allen's highest highs, whenever he's riding the roller coaster having those bad games, his highest highs are the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
He hits that level all the time.
But I'm also
his production, his
output.
This
list is so hard because I keep wanting to go into give him Stephon Diggs, give him that defense that was playing great with Von Miller. Like, look what I mean. And it sucks because of the 4 turnover game he had.
This is a really weird thing. Give Josh Allen, and I know we're not high on him, but like Etienne, but he produced.
A run game.
He produced
a run game outside of Josh Allen doing it himself.
He produced 1,000% more than the fucking run that the Bills had.
Like if and I'm not willing to say that Josh Allen, but I'm looking off straight intangibles with this, and Josh Allen, that's the one thing that is transfer over. He's gotten better at everything except for the fact that he still turns the ball over a lot.
Absolutely.
Whereas
losing Brian Daboll had a big impact on that. I feel
that man is good.
Look at Daniel Jones; he didn't turn the ball over nearly as much this season.
Good.
I give it to you.
That guy's good as hell.
Brendan, I'll go ahead and go.
My 5 was Trevor.
Okay, I'll go number 4. We're on the same page.
Yeah, you got
Allen 5, Lamar Jackson 4. Ooh. I think that whenever I'm looking at the best of their best, whenever I'm looking at what I see from them, the best you get from Lamar Jackson is 2 MVP candidate.
If we're looking just straight off of this list and the other quarterbacks, his best is 2 because he's done more than every other quarterback except be to a Super Bowl. That's the only thing that any of the other quarterbacks have on him is being to a Super Bowl, which is Joe.
Yeah,
but he has an MVP.
This is the ultimate argument. The supporting cast matters. I don't think he's ever had an elite receiver.
So what makes you put him at 4 rather than 3? With that, you don't have to give away who's your 3, but what makes him fall a little there?
The upside throwing ability. I feel like the guys above him absolutely have a better throwing ability. I think that he makes better decisions than Josh Allen, and I also think that their running ability is pretty comparable. But I think Lamar takes it up a notch, and he
pretty comparable.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Well, Josh Allen. I mean,
Josh Allen's not a 1,000-yard quarterback. That's the difference. Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts,
that's what I'm saying. Taking it up a
Lamar
notch in terms of productivity, but whenever it comes to impact, Lamar's getting touchdowns, 60-yard touchdowns, whereas Josh Allen's extending drives, getting into the end zone because of his legs. Yeah, it's a different feel. Whenever I'm comparing running quarterbacks, Justin Fields, Lamar, they're pretty similar just because they're able to take it 60 yards for a touchdown. My thing is I would take Allen as a thrower and a quarterback in general over.
You're leaning into the more of
Lamar, but I've seen Lamar hit the highest level as a quarterback, as a player in the NFL in general.
You're leaning more into what the position entails when you're looking at the AFC.
Yes.
As in, you're a quarterback, you're supposed to throw.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, we're looking at, like, what we can do at the position regardless of what it is.
Well, no, because I would say Allen's a better thrower of the football than
I can make the argument
Lamar.
that position-wise, total position, impact on the position, Lamar's no less than 3 on this list.
But you're also talking about, like, the Bills are nowhere without Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And where are the Ravens?
They put the ball.
The Ravens made it to the playoffs without Lamar. You know what I mean?
But he was there at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not arguing Allen over Lamar. I'm talking about projection. Like,
the Ravens
what would I be capable of having him on my team for the next?
The Ravens are also a team that are
He's
blessed
also had
with the
injury
fact
history.
that their backup quarterback
His injury
does
history.
the exact same thing their starting quarterback does, and they don't have to change their system. Whereas if Josh gets hurt, they have to change the system.
They got to change everything.
His injury history also gets taken into account with this. Whereas, like, Dak, he fucking broke his ankle.
Yeah.
Lamar just
but Lamar's injuries aren't.
Kyler just fucking tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, he's fucking had injuries before.
Mm-hmm. But I think Lamar's injuries are like.
Yeah. Hey, we'll argue.
We'll
argue Lamar a little higher. You might have him higher than me, but
he's.
But I have him at 4.
Yeah. My 4 is Josh Allen.
Okay.
I honestly think this season. I think the ass end of this season pushed him down to 4.
Yeah.
I think that he would have been 2, and if he would have taken this team to the Super Bowl, I think there is an argument that he would have been 1. Honestly, like, even with, we know who 1 is, but, like, even with knowing how good he is, the things that you've said is, like, Josh Allen, when he's playing the best, he is the best.
It's
There's no one
guy in the NFL, and it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and, like, it's just crazy to see how, like...
And he hits that high, like, far more often than a lot of these guys on the
It's so hard when you are riding on the highs because at that point, then Purdy does look like he's the number one.
Like,
but he's never thrown for
5
touchdowns and had over 400 yards.
Yeah.
Passing.
We just see that, like, with Josh Allen, he had to be on the list because he is that level of talented. But I think that he has the support group around him, but he also kind of is just missing a support in certain areas.
He has no run game.
His number 2 receiver is fucking Duty.
Gabe Davis is.
He's not horrible, but he's not. He shouldn't be the second best receiver on your fucking team.
Yeah, but there's a lot of quarterbacks that don't have the luxury of having a good number 1.
And I get that. But
you got
Lamar where it is.
Like, Lamar doesn't have a good number 1.
And Josh Allen, because the ball is in his hands, and I brought this up on the last one, there was only 11 plays in the Bengals game that didn't go through Josh Allen. Either through a run or a pass. I think that his turnovers get put against him pretty bad, but I think that you're just going to have those numbers whenever you are every bit of your offense. So
it's weird. I wonder how those numbers are actually looked at because it's so weird.
Well, I mean,
at the end of the day, every play
has QBR tells you a lot about what they think about those turnovers.
Well, every like I was saying, like in terms of like the plays running through him, because in a sense every play has to run through him.
Of course, yeah.
Like that's where I'm like I wonder how they take that into account. Like,
but my last point for Josh Allen is I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to jump on this bandwagon of like Josh Allen isn't as good as he is. I think that he is more talented than at least one quarterback on that's above him, but I think that there's just something missing for him to be above the.
He has the turnover bug that these other quarterbacks don't.
Yeah.
Whereas that's why he was 5 on my list and Trevor was 4.
Yeah. So that's your 4.
Whereas whereas you said if you thought translated out to the same amount, and I'm talking about just pure pass plays, not run plays, because we can't factor that in.
Yeah.
But just pure pass plays, they touch them out. I don't think Trevor is going to turn the ball over as much.
Which is
on top of the fact that I think,
and it might be another recency bias for me. Trevor throwing those fucking 4 interceptions in the first half might hurt.
See, you're looking at the 4 interceptions. I'm looking at the 4 touchdowns.
They were able to come back from that.
And again, I think that there's some recency bias on this list.
That's part of the system, though. Like their defense being able to make stops and stuff. That fucking counts.
I'm looking at ability at the position. If I'm like looking at ability,
imagine
obviously
that's the Bengals or the fucking
they cook them
or the Chiefs.
All right, I'll let you go.
Sorry. Obviously, if we're looking at ability, Josh Allen is over Trevor. But in ability. Like the same thing I did with Lamar and Justin and Jalen. You can do more at the position with him. You can run the ball, and that's just a fact. Trevor's not running the ball like Josh. But I do think Trevor is of that level of passer where it's just a different level. Like he could be on that level of a Rodgers. He could be on that level of a Mahomes. The ability to spin, even Herbert's on that level. The ability to spin the ball in the way that he does is different. And I think,
who's your 4?
It's Trevor.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was 5.
And then you have Trevor 4, sorry to kind of derail.
And we are running a little late on this, so we do have to kind of.
Let's pick up the pace a little bit.
Just a little bit, just because I'd like to
Lamar.
I'd like to bounce up out here about like 11:45, so we got like 45 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Lamar,
we got it.
Yeah,
Lamar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Lamar has done something that.
You said he's your
3. He's my 3. And Lamar has done something that on this list, the only people that have done it are Rodgers and my homeboy, and that's winning MVP. That's just the fact of it. Lamar's height is 2 in the AFC.
Yeah.
You can talk about Josh Allen's height. It's not higher than Lamar's height.
Yeah.
Fully healthy Lamar with receivers who aren't as good as Josh Allen. And I don't want to keep talking about the system because that isn't this is supposed to be translated across all systems. But Lamar is just there. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's played with worse, and he's arguably done just as good, if not better, than Josh Allen.
All right.
Brennan,
who's your 3rd?
It's Lamar.
It's Lamar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll make some of the same arguments that you made actually. If you give him the talent level that a lot of these other players had, he would be much higher.
Give him the Eagles.
Go
in that offensive line.
Get DeAndre Hopkins. I feel like they're.
See, that's what separates it. That's what separates it. Is if we do take in system to account, some of these quarterbacks, it's not a fucking question. We're not questioning.
There's an argument that Lamar would be your favorite pick to put on the 49ers.
My thing is that Lamar and Jalen.
I would rather see Lamar at the Eagles.
Lamar and Jalen are very comparable in terms of their playmaking ability. I think that Jalen is a far better passer than Lamar. I just do. Lamar at his best, whenever he's on target, he's making crazy fucking throws.
But that also goes into the account of the receivers.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the receivers there to make him look good. Are we going to say Jalen does the same thing, at least the level of what Lamar did his MVP season, at the same that's how I look at it. Is take them out. But look at you're not looking at the team. Look at the team. Take Lamar off that MVP season. Put Jalen in. Does he win MVP? No. Put Lamar on this Eagles team.
It is hard to say.
Put Lamar on this Eagles team.
This version of Jalen Hurts, this motivated Jalen Hurts, that's the thing. I take
Put Lamar MVP on the Eagles. You don't lose a game, and we're not even having questions on who's winning the Super Bowl.
Bro, he lost 1 game this year.
I'm not arguing that. But to say that
the production is there,
you have Lamar in
the
that.
Production.
I'm not arguing the production. I'm arguing that Lamar has done the production that Jalen does with less. Mm-hmm. You give him the same amount, it's fucking over.
Right,
it is true.
So what's your
Who's
argument?
won an MVP?
Well, all right, we'll just get back to it because I have a question for this.
My argument is
I have a question for the Lamar thing on your 2.
It's so hard. I really do see is Jalen being Lamar being possibly 3. If you're just building a team, regardless of the division, I'm hard pressed to say that I don't have Lamar under Burrow and Mahomes as at 3. At just what you can do, the height. We keep talking about height. Who's been higher? The only 2 people that have been higher, 3, are Burrow because he's been to a Super Bowl, Mahomes because he's won a Super Bowl, and Rodgers because he's won a Super Bowl.
We're not making that argument.
But outside of that, they have MVPs.
We're not making that argument about Goff or Jimmy G
because they didn't win.
I think the consistency matters, and I think that the health matters too.
But we got to, if we're factoring in consistency, we have to factor in position groups with that because that is a major part of your consistency. When your receivers suck,
it depends on how much
Hollywood Brown is not what he says he is.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown, he was dropping passes with Lamar.
Yeah.
Like that. He wasn't even what he was with Kyler.
Who's your 3rd?
It's Lamar. Yeah, we were arguing the same thing here.
All right. So I got Lawrence as my 3rd. I just think that, dude, he's just I don't know. I think I take intangibles into account quite a bit more than y'all.
No, I get it.
I think you can kind of see it with some guys. He takes command.
Yeah.
Lamar, I feel like, is a little bit like under the radar as a leader. I feel like he's like the Tim Duncan of his team. You know what I mean? Where he's not really vocal, but he's also like leading by example.
Bro, I don't know.
I don't think Kyler's a leader in any aspect.
No,
like,
hell no.
Even with his play, I don't think it elevates him to a leader on the team. Like J.J. Watt's the leader of the team.
And this is me being biased because watching him at Louisville, that exactly what you're saying is not true. He is 100% the leader of any of these other quarterbacks. That is who he is. That's how he's always been.
I don't think he matches the level of intensity as a leader as Jalen Hurts, or even
the team
Dak.
fucking
or even
rallies behind.
That's
Jalen.
what I'm saying.
They rally behind.
They rally
behind
Lamar
as well, but like
they have no chance without Lamar, and they realize it. That's why every player in the league is the number one thing is why hasn't Lamar been played? That's what they're complaining about is because you see that you have a team that rallies behind them. You built around.
My argument for Lawrence though is like we saw it at Clemson. We see it now with like a competent head coach, what he can do. I feel like he still hasn't. I would say that like Hollywood Brown's best season kind of matches what Christian Kirk, not as good, obviously.
Yeah, but
like,
Hollywood Brown's best season wasn't on the Ravens. It was on the Cardinals.
Dude,
his best season is this year.
I know that, but I'm just saying like this year's Christian Kirk is like the same kind of impact Hollywood Brown had with Lamar's MVP season. I think that defense is also better. That defense was also better overall than what the Jacksonville Jaguars had this year. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, they had like a prime Calais Campbell. Like, he was just coming off of fucking like a Super Bowl or an AFC championship berth.
It's so hard because their
defense
is terrible. The fucking Ravens defense is so bad.
Really
Look how many games they blew.
That was early into this year though.
I don't.
They got a lot better, and they're pretty solid.
But my thing is that Lawrence, I feel like he's capable of a lot more than what we've seen so far.
Of course.
The way we should have did this is we should have picked the team that we're putting these quarterbacks on. And in my opinion, the most complete team right now is the Eagles. So take
I say 49ers.
49ers
I mean,
or Eagles.
It's 50-50. Like
it's literally just whichever. Do you like red or do you like green?
Yeah.
Like that's how I see it. Whereas the Eagles,
we're gonna talk about it.
Put Jalen on the 49ers. Do you pick?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
I'd pick the 49ers to win if they had Jalen.
Oh, so like if you're switching Purdy and
that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
The quarterback play matters. I mean,
we pick a team. Yeah. We should have picked a team and then be like, okay, you're putting them on this team, which in my opinion, the most complete team is the Eagles. So it's like
50-50. So.
Across players, put all these players on the Eagles who performs the best.
Yeah.
That would have been a dope list to do.
I'm just saying, like,
the number one
in terms of
same.
We're also talking about like injury history. We're also talking about like that's what I'm taking into account. I thought about a lot of stuff with this. Like, even Mahomes, he's had injuries before, but it doesn't like diminish It doesn't diminish my.
It's
my
not something
level
to worry
I'm
about.
moving forward with this guy because I already see what he does.
So again, our 2 and 1, same.
Yeah, same. I got Burrow and Mahomes.
I got Burrow and then Mahomes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And I'm sure we all have the same arguments about it.
So this is the one that I wanted to know the most. Is the way that you hyped up Lamar, what puts Joe above him? And not just that he's been to a Super Bowl. I don't
because
think
is
that the only thing?
His passing is a better package than Lamar's whole package. That's the same thing with Mahomes. Is the way that they are able to change the game passing is like the reason the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl this year is because they're going to run for 250 yards a game. Yeah. The only reason that they lose the Super Bowl is because Mahomes was able to eclipse that with his arm. That's the level of arm that they have.
My thing is that they have that 250-yard rushing game, and Jalen Hurts can back it up with another 300-yard passing. You know what I'm saying? Like they led the league in fucking offensive yards.
But you're exact. But the 250-yard passing, the rushing game is your whole. Whereas if Mahomes beats you, it's because he beat you. Yeah. Whereas you guys are more than like
He is in terms of like who can beat you the most. I think it's Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. There's like the 3 guys I would pick like over everybody.
I see.
Maybe even Rodgers throw him in there, but I'm talking about like moving forward.
I would love to see Lamar with some of these offenses
and,
that he has above him. But Homeboy and Joe, they can separate it with their arm.
And maybe there is something there with Lamar where he hasn't played. He's been injured. We haven't really seen him in a while.
Again, recency bias. I've said this. Recency bias is going to hurt us a little bit. Because we did the same thing with Deshaun Watson where we were saying his talent matches like... Yeah. He's like, 6. No, he's 7 for me.
He's as high as like the 5th best quarterback at his best. Yes. But he never met that mark with his play in Cleveland. Yeah. So we got to sit and wait.
I would say just because... He's going to have now a full off season where he can train.
Yes,
he's going to make connections with
with Amari.
Amari, who was a 1,000-yard receiver. Yeah. Like they're going to be scary next year.
Yeah, we don't need to make arguments for Mahomes.
We don't.
If you don't think Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, you don't watch football. But
you're a Bengals fan. No, if you don't think Mahomes is the number one quarterback in the league, you are a Bengals fan.
I think that there is an argument to be made that like Mahomes has already like solidified himself as the second best quarterback ever. So I don't like
you can make the argument,
but because of his
looking at
his
skill,
postseason
though.
Success, his ability to like.
I'm looking at skill. Who's more skilled than Mahomes all time?
Yeah,
it's hard. There's nobody. Marino's up there. Rodgers is up there. I mean, you've got Elway.
This makes me sick because like I wish Andy Reid was still an Eagle, like the Eagles coach, and then he would have seen Mahomes. That we would have Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to act like.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Like
the last point that I want to make here is the reason that Joe is above Lamar, because I think that people are going to sleep on this, and just again recency bias is just going to show Joe's success. But I think that you said you think Joe's passing surpasses the entire package of Lamar. I don't agree with that. What does it for me is Joe Burrow's ability to do it without an offensive line.
Yeah.
That's what does it for me.
Oh,
because
God, yeah.
if Lamar had a terrible offensive line,
the adversity,
like he could extend the plays, and I think that you would see kind of like a Justin Fields-esque play where he's just going to run the ball, or maybe even like Josh Allen where he's just going to run the ball, versus
Joe
Burrow,
can't make it.
Joe Burrow is able, if they had the offensive line that Joe has, you have to pass, and not only do you have to pass within like.
But they were good
literally at the very.
That's the thing that confuses. That's the thing that confuses me about the Bengals is they can't pass protect at all. But let Samaje Perine get as many carries as Joe Mixon, you'll have 2,000-yard rushing.
We're gonna talk about that.
Like it's fucking.
We are bringing it up for sure.
It's fucking ridiculous. Like
it's.
I don't understand how you could be so good at run blocking and so bad at pass blocking.
It's crazy. But yeah, that's that. I just wanted to make that point of like why they are where they are. Yeah. Joe is above Lamar because I think with the collapse of offensive line, and I think that. On the flip side of this, if you give Joe Burrow a good offensive line, you give him a full read of the field. Holy shit! This dude is making some plays that like
put Joe Burrow on the Eagles. They don't lose.
Overall,
that's why he was
all
2 for me.
Quarterbacks, he's still 2. All quarterbacks put in this list, he's still 2.
Yeah.
Now my 3 is still Lamar because I'm thinking, look at all of these top 3 quarterbacks behind the Eagles.
And I understand, yeah.
Holy fucking shit! Lamar would do.
Well, they run specifically like zone read plays out for their run game. Imagine like quarterback zone plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, with
Lamar Jackson can break those for fucking 80 yards.
That's what I'm saying. That would be the argument where you would start to put maybe I do put Lamar over Joe because
I think there is that argument there, and that's what I wanted to know because you're so big on Lamar, and like obviously we all are, but like since you're so big on him and you were hyping him up as if he was the number 1 and you still had him at 3, I wanted to know what it was.
He could be the number 1.
No, I don't think he passes Mahomes in any situation.
That's the thing that's hard is I don't think he
could
passes,
be as high as 2
because even if he does have 3,500 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards, Mahomes is still going to throw for 5,000 yards. Yeah. And I'm not even just equating it to yards.
And that's a best case scenario argument where, like, if everything goes right for Lamar, doesn't have any injuries, gets, like, the best team around him, literally ends up on
I don't even think that. I just think that's probably a regular season for him. If he could stay healthy.
At number 2.
And has a good. Number 3.
Number 3.
Literally, it's him. It's Mahomes. If I'm doing all quarterbacks together, it's Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar for me.
Well, I think this was one of the best segments we've ever done. It's fucking fun. But we got to move on to the most important, prescient issue in the NFL.
Yeah.
We just finished up Conference Championship Week.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this game we just finished first.
We got the Super Bowl.
We've got the Super Bowl matchup. Got Philadelphia meeting the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes versus Hurts, the 2 MVP candidates all year. Oh man, I can't believe it. Andy Reid playing his favorite team, his old team. Man, let's talk about the Cincinnati game first.
Yes,
because it just ended. It's kind of like it's fresh on the mind.
Yeah.
How it ended was pretty fucking terrible. I'm not gonna lie. The penalty, unnecessary roughness out of bounds, late hit on Mahomes, kind of set up a short field goal. And in the final seconds, they kick it. 23-20 is the final score.
Every Burrow-Mahomes game has been separated by 3 points.
Yep. And the thing is that, like, in terms of AFC championships where the home team's favored by under a field goal and ends up being a blowout. That was a stat on First Things First. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Chiefs are going to beat y'all by 40. If Andy Reid wins that game, he becomes the most.
You already owe me 10. You want to put 10 more on it?
If Andy Reid wins this game, he becomes the most winningest head coach in Chiefs history. So he'll be the most winningest head coach for two teams.
Damn, that's crazy.
So we're breaking down both of these games. Are we doing our prediction for the Super Bowl after?
No, we're gonna wait until next week.
Okay.
That's what
that'll give us another week of injuries healed up.
Yeah,
everything.
it'll give you a lot more time to actually analyze the matchups and stuff, which I thought I took into account when talking about the 49ers. I figure we were the better team.
We'll get to that game next.
We are going to get to that game, though. With this game, the pressure was there for both teams.
I don't ever want to hear Burrow in the same conversation as Mahomes again.
You got it. You got it in your last call.
That's your last call.
He's fucking by himself.
Anyways, Jamar Chase had less of an impact than T. Higgins in this game. T. Higgins had a fucking moss touchdown earlier in the game. The thing is that Chris Jones came into the game with 0 postseason sacks, gets fucking 2. Frank Clark is 4th all time in sacks in the postseason. He got 1.5 this game. The pressure was there. Even the rookie George Karlaftis, he got a sack. It's just I don't think that Kansas City gets a lot of credit for the way their pass rush is elevated this season. And Frank Clark's been a big part of that. Him getting 2 sacks in the postseason, that really, that was a big tally in his career.
Nobody cares about defensive linemen, so that's why the Chiefs fucking off their sack isn't.
Well, yeah,
nobody's looking at them they're a sack threat
with these teams. It's the quarterback play, and to me, whenever you affect it and you limit the effectiveness of a quarterback, like Kansas City did with this game, they got to Burrow 5 times. Forced 2 interceptions within those pressures.
I'm hard pressed to say Jalen throws 2 picks. Y'all beat them.
This
is a game that nobody can make mistakes. It's going to come down to who makes the first mistake.
And in terms of the turnover battle, obviously the Chiefs were favored. They lost the fumble. Mahomes lost the fumble on a sack, and I mean it was the picks were. We thought it was 3. It was 2. It's what turned the tide in this game. Mm-hmm. Travis Kelce was back. He was a game time decision, and he had a touchdown this game. Marquez Valdes-Scantling came up big, 6 receptions, 116 yards and a touchdown. That's what you need from these guys. Even Juju, if he can make an impact in the Super Bowl, and he can spread the ball.
This game, he didn't play much.
He didn't play much.
No, I mean he played, but he got hurt the third quarter. He didn't, but he wasn't doing shit.
It seems to me that Mahomes was spreading the ball around the field because you got 8 targets for Scantling, you got 8 targets for Kelce, 6 for Isaiah Pacheco, who fucking played out of his mind. Isaiah Pacheco's been a godsend for them.
Kind of just funny to see with 10 rushes for
20 to the curb on that one.
Yo.
You know what I mean?
I remember when I got made fun of because I said Clyde wasn't as good as he was.
Well, I mean,
that's crazy.
It is what it is.
Cody, you suck it.
He's pretty talented. He just can't.
Where he at though?
Cody's talking shit. By the way, we're gonna get that motherfucker on the podcast next week.
Good.
Because I need to win some more money.
But my takeaways from this game is just the offensive line fucking destroyed Joe Burrow as they always do.
Yeah. Most sacked quarterback through the season. Again.
Chris Jones came up big, showed why he was on the Defensive Player of the Year.
In the running for it.
In the running for it, yeah. He made probably the biggest play of the game, that sack on 3rd down when they have to punt, and then that set up the drive that unfortunately the pass or roughing the passer ended up making into the field goal range.
Well, it wasn't even roughing a passer; it was a scramble.
It was late hit.
Yeah, it was a late hit on the sideline. Mahomes.
Yeah,
see, that's the thing about Mahomes, him being able to still get mobile and get out of the pocket and extend a drive by running.
He shouldn't have got hit. The dude, fucking.
Well, they had 3 seconds left. If he just doesn't commit the penalty, then
he has to kick a 60-yarder.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
and Harrison Butker can make that.
He can.
It cut it from a 60 to a 45-yard, which is money.
And the 45 was kind of close.
Yeah,
it wasn't
it looked good.
It was right down the middle, but it wasn't
it
didn't look like if it was 60 yards, it was going in.
Yeah,
is what I mean by close.
And Butker's been dealing with injuries all year, so
I wouldn't even worry about something like that, in my opinion, just because it's like, fuck it. You make it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And he did.
Yeah.
So they go into the Super Bowl.
Our Super Bowl pick didn't end up happening. I should have taken the one that didn't get picked. I was on the fence about this because I thought that Mahomes his mobility, I thought it was going to be way more limited than it was. High ankle sprain turns into like he's able to fucking play the game. Now
this is goofy, but this is the only instance where I thought someone was going to benefit from an injury is because like. If you let Patrick Mahomes sit there, he'll shred you. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was like, if the Bengals can't get him off his spot, it doesn't matter. They're gonna get shredded because he doesn't have to worry. He doesn't have to think about, oh well, you don't get in those plays where this is where Kyler gets himself in trouble a lot. I need to make something, so let me scramble. Whereas Mahomes is like, I'm only scrambling if I need to because my ankle's fucked, and he realized like, oh, I don't have to scramble at all, really.
Yeah.
Like.
Any other takeaways from the game?
I don't know.
I am excited.
I've been on the way.
We're going to talk about this game far more in detail next week. Kind of like line up the matchup. You're going to see the same arguments in national media as well.
I've been on the Chiefs. I never thought I
didn't have them win in the division going into the season, but I did not expect.
I had them win in the division, but I also had the Bills going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I had the Bills beating the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it wasn't a terrible pick.
It wasn't a terrible pick, and I like the Bengals. Their fan base just makes me hate them. Like, I can't stand fans, so if you're fucking terrible fans. Fucking Annie Apple, Eli Apple's mom deleted her Twitter.
Coming from a damn Patriots fan.
Wow.
Because she's about to get fucking cooked because her son sucks. No, and I admit it. Patriot fans are terrible, but I am an objective Patriots fan. I am the best Patriots fan. I am what Skip thinks he is.
You know the most objective fans you'll get is the fucking guys that'll boo Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? Like they are the ones that ran Ben Simmons out of the state.
Like I gotta boo Santa Claus because he's breaking and entering.
It's just keeping your players that you pay money to go see it, like holding them to account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways,
no one likes other people's fans.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's going to get
No,
shit.
I'm okay with other people's fans.
Grease the polls,
Bengals fans, Cowboys fans, and you are the most annoying fans I know.
And me?
Yes, and you. Yeah, but it's because I'm so in proximity with them all the time. It's where it wears on you.
Firsthand because you're wrong. And we need to talk about how you're fucking wrong.
But genuinely, on Twitter, the only fans I hate are Bengals fans and Cowboys fans. Right. And I think that's
fair.
They're just the worst.
Well,
they're not smart. They're dumb.
Let's do it.
You want to start
Cowboys are Texas people. Texas is coming back. No, we're not. Fucking Texas is not the SEC
so
anymore.
what you got? All right, the San Francisco 49ers played at the Philadelphia Eagles.
I wish I could play fucking
Daniel. They lost 7-31. What is your takeaway?
I wish I could play Daniel Jones and Josh Johnson and get to a Super Bowl. Jesus fucking Christ. No, I do think Purdy makes this.
Yeah, I'm letting you go first because I want you to clear up your statement. No, I want you to have a good take.
My statement is the exact same statement this fucker had, except I'm a hating ass nigga for it. He didn't say that. Don't.
I did not say the N-word. I promise I didn't.
But this game is closer whether any of the three starters start, whether it's Jimmy G, Trey Lance, Garoppolo. The game is just closer. That's just how it is. You still probably lose, but it's close.
It shows how you feel. Because you fucked it up and you said Jimmy G, Trey, or Garoppolo.
No, you cannot.
Say Purdy, you said Garoppolo twice.
Oh,
I meant Jimmy G or Garoppolo. That shows your real feeling.
Any of the quarterbacks. Any of the quarterbacks.
Or CMC.
Fuck. They were going to. He was going to play. Yeah. That's the thing is like you fucking lose your quarterback early on. You put your backup in. He gets hurt. And then your fucking starter who's hurt has to go back in the game. Yep. But I'm not going to take anything away from it. It did look like a dogfight at the beginning. But we're
going to go in succession, by the way. I want my tirade.
Yes.
I want my shot.
Again, we don't have a shit ton of time, so we got to.
I got you. It's just I fucking forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
It happens like that. Since we did have we have the same argument. I am not going to take away from the Eagles. They have been the best team all year.
31-28.
And sure. I don't necessarily think that they put up 28 points just by the way that this fucking Eagles team was playing. But at the same time, I'm not going to predict a score. It's very fucking hard to say that Brock Purdy doesn't play better than 7 for 13 for 74 yards. He's never played that fucking bad in his life. He still didn't miss a pass in this game. Like, we got to give him some credit. He still played pretty decent. Rookies move on to 0-5 whenever they start in the conference championship games.
How it should be. You should never lose to a rookie in a championship
it's
game.
Fucking insane.
That's like fucking Kevontae Turpin getting tackled by the kicker in the last game and to return that would have changed the game for the Cowboys. Like, no, you don't fucking do shit like that. You don't get tackled by a kicker. You don't lose to a rookie. And that's been my whole argument. Is this rookie good enough to break the echelon?
Yeah.
I don't think he is.
And the big concern was going into this game can Philadelphia, or more, can Jalen Hurts take on a defense that is as good as the 49ers? And yes, he didn't have the game of his life, but he didn't have to. Anytime that they ran the ball, it fucking scored, apparently. So it makes it very easy that Jalen can go 15 for 25, 120.
That's what I was about to say.
Be fine.
Do I think you can go 15 of 25 against Mahomes for 120 yards and win? If you run for fucking 100,
if you run for fucking 4 touchdowns, you can.
Yeah, but
it's if
who knows? Because you're also going to have to. The offensive output's going to have to be there. This is going to be a very interesting Super Bowl for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's all I have to take away is the best team all year show that they're still the best team over the team that unfortunately had to move down to their 4th string quarterback. We cannot ignore that.
That's the rough thing.
All right, Jacob,
so
let us hear it.
I'm not going to come on here and gloat. I don't need to do that.
Job's not done.
I did it all fucking year. And I'm not the guy in there playing the game. You know what I mean? My thing is that, like, when we're talking about this matchup going into the game, can Jalen Hurts get it done against the number 1 defense in the NFL? Overwhelmingly, yes. And whenever we say get it done, can you do enough to score enough points to outmatch their offensive output? And whenever it comes to, like, the 49ers offensive line, didn't stand a chance against someone like Hassan Reddick. But the thing is like, whenever they set their matchups, their protections, don't slide to this guy. Let him come free on his rushes, and it fundamentally changes the game because it knocks the guy out. Yeah. And you bring in a guy that ends up getting concussed. Turns out the Eagles' pass rush has been dominant, continues to be dominant. Defensive player of the year played in this game, and it wasn't on the 49ers. He played out of his fucking mind. If there's an MVP of this game, it's Hassan Reddick.
That doesn't mean he's defensive player of the year.
I'm just saying.
Anybody with a brain knows that it's Nick Bosa.
Keep going.
Anyways, he changed this game. 3 fumble recoveries for the defense. Total sacks. Let's go look.
Sounds like you played a 4-string quarterback.
So total sacks 3 on the day. 2 from Hassan Reddick, obviously. Had the potential of getting a fumble recovery off one of his sacks. It was blown dead because I guess he was down. Early on, first drive, Devontae Smith. There's gonna be a lot of discussion about how that wasn't a catch. Don't give a fuck. Like, it had no bearing on the game. Yeah, they scored on that first drive, but then there was like 4 drives in between that they didn't do anything. So like, my thing is that if you're the number 1 rushing defense in the NFL, can't stop this rushing attack. Had 148 yards on 44 carries. Miles Sanders didn't even play in the second half.
That's really pedestrian for what y'all usually do.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, you're playing against the
really
best
does
rushing
sound
defense
like
in the
y'all
NFL.
played against the fucking 4th-string quarterback.
What?
They put up 31 points. So like the numbers don't look crazy.
The defense did their job. The defense did their job.
Yeah.
They allowed 7 points to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, you're going to do that. But like,
so you made a 4-string quarterback look like a 4-string quarterback. Now their defense did not stand up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Which is kind of crazy because yards-wise they did.
Yeah.
It's just the touchdowns.
Yeah.
Because like,
I would like to know your average. I would like to. I'm nitpicking at this point, but 269 total yards is low for a football game.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Like I would like to see your average
yards.
Not average yard for play. Your in this game, your average starting field position. Because it sounds to me like you guys had great field position all night.
Yeah, they forced 3 turnovers. That was the game-changing factor.
Yeah, I'm not like. I don't know. This is just all feelings on this. 269 yards, 31 points. That doesn't seem like.
Sound like y'all played in the red zone most of the game.
It seems pretty crazy, but like it's not to discredit the Eagles.
Well, the thing is that they were able to generate points off of turnovers. They've been the second best in terms of like turnover differential. They were first, but like in terms of like generating turnovers, they're behind the Cowboys, and that's it. So like, yeah, you're expecting a rookie to not make those mistakes against one of the second best defense in the NFL. He turns out he does.
Yeah.
And one of those turnovers was like a miss snap, like just didn't catch the ball on a snap. So like maybe there is a element of luck there.
Yeah.
But that's only 7 points. Doesn't account for the other 3 touchdowns rushing that we had.
Of course.
And Jalen Hurts showed like pride and like he was visually like tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was taking a beating. And on the plays that he was able to rush and extend the play as well, like he would get out of the pocket, get to the side, like close to the sideline, and nobody's fucking open because their defensive, like their scheme just matched up. And that's the thing that they probably went into the game focusing on. We can't allow big plays.
I'm ready to see you play your first game against a quarterback who's better than yours.
Mahomes is going to be benched. He's going to be hurt.
Oh, my God. Chad Henne's going to start.
Hey, Chad Henne's that guy, though. I don't know why. In the playoffs, that motherfucker been balling.
Here's the thing. I don't want to knock out Patrick Mahomes. I want the best version of the Chiefs that we could see. But I will not be surprised if this is the game where Patrick Mahomes gets sacked the most he has all year.
You have to say that. I will say what's really being said here. As a Bears fan, if the Bears were in the Super Bowl, I hope we don't play Patrick Mahomes. Of course. I would love to play Chad Henne in the Super Bowl.
What I'm saying,
the bragging rights are, because the thing is that
you all
you're giving them shit.
Regardless.
You're giving them shit because they didn't play a fully healthy Brock Purdy. The thing is like, you're going to do the same thing.
I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah.
I would have only liked to have seen the healthy version of the quarterbacks play, except for Josh Johnson. I would have rather not seen him play at all. But like Purdy, Lance, Garoppolo, I would have rather seen them healthy. Does it change the outcome of the game?
Touted all year, and they were not generating any offense from the
running
game.
That's what separates it. That's the difference. Is you were able to stop the run that they were good at. But
I'm just saying, bro.
Do I think you can have a 269-yard game against the Chiefs and win? I mean, yeah, if you're gonna have the starting position that you did, but I also don't think I just don't see it. I just don't.
Okay.
I don't see
final thoughts on this week.
Like I said,
again, we only have 14 minutes. Sorry.
It's gonna be the Super Bowl is gonna be whoever makes the first mistake loses the game.
Yeah, and the thing is that the Eagles can generate mistakes.
So can
they've been the best pass rush all year. They literally led the league in sacks by 15.
Yeah,
they are the third best pass rushing team.
The Chiefs can make you generate. They can generate mistakes on your defense.
We don't need to
because you gotta stop Mahomes.
We don't need to get too much further into this because that is what next week is going to be one of our biggest segments. Is breaking down the Super Bowl, our predictions on it, and everything like that. So honestly, if we ain't got nothing else about this game. I want us to do our last calls. I actually really like all of our last calls. So
final takeaway, though.
Yes.
Eagles are in the fucking Super Bowl.
Pretty cool for you.
2 times in the past 5 years.
Pretty sick with it.
It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
But all right.
So
everybody ready for the last call? At the beginning of the season.
Again, we only have 15 minutes, so usually we'll debate. Usually we'll bullshit with each other. We kind of don't have enough time. We'll see how it's filling out.
Gotcha.
I think yours is going to take the least amount of time. So Jacob, take it away.
So not the script writers.
Oh my God,
Timmy, I love you, Timmy. If you watch our fucking podcast, I love you.
Man, if you don't, we don't love you.
That's funny.
You a bitch ass nigga.
So I had an issue with
gotta stop calling white people that.
After the Lakers traded Kendrick Nunn for Rui Hachimura from the Wizards, Shaquille O'Neal, Hall of Famer, top 5 player of all time, just had like the worst take of all time.
It's not a bad take.
My thing is that
do you watch the Wizards?
We're not fucking debating.
You're good, bro.
My point of contention is that whenever it comes to marketing the game that you love and that you cover on a nightly basis, or not even a nightly basis, but with TNT, like you're on a network, you're getting paid a lot of money to fucking do this as a job. Why is it that like you can't take the level of care and commitment and dedication to the craft as like someone like Dan Orlovsky or I don't know, Marcus Spears, Shannon Sharp, Nick Wright, fucking all these guys that are getting paid money at other networks that are covering the NFL day in and day out. Even fucking like Field Yates, Ian Rappaport, like guys that aren't on the screen all the time.
But I don't think Shaq is of that level. Whereas Rappaport's
a reporter. Yeah. That's the thing. Whereas like whenever you talk about analysis, Marcus Spears,
TNT is
Chris Canty, even Stephen A. Like, Stephen A. will go in depth about, like, what he feels is the best argument for why a team is capable of winning a certain game. Whereas, like, he just kind of wrote off an entire team because he doesn't care to watch them. They're not interesting. Well, my thing is that if it's your job to, it makes you look very terrible. I feel like Charles Barkley's probably putting in more work when it comes to, like, breaking down tape of teams he doesn't give a fuck about than Shaq ever does.
Where I'm different with that is I think it is just they are there to color commentate the games that are on that slate.
Well, yeah, they're on the most.
If you're not watching the
his
statement makes sense.
Just don't be surprised. Whenever we're talking about, like, marketing your game and, like, getting the product out there, like, adding urgency to what you're watching. I feel like the season's already too long, and to have that little fucking care or knowledge about the teams you're talking about.
But he is right.
It's annoying.
Nobody was watching the Bullets when they were a team.
Because I love the NBA. I fucking love NBA basketball. It's just like...
Do you watch the Wizards?
No.
Getting it exactly. That's the point he's getting.
I also don't get paid millions of dollars to fucking talk about the NBA.
Yeah, but
now,
he
whenever
gets paid
we do,
to talk
I'll
about
fucking go into depth about the entire roster. You know what I mean? But we're a fucking sports podcast. We talk about
the second Bradley Beal's out of there. There's no reason to talk. You say that like every time we went to talk about the Broncos this year, we didn't just skip that game.
Yeah, so.
We had analysis behind it though. We fucking talked about why.
Literally were like, we're not talking about the Broncos. Like we don't
didn't
need
have
to talk
anything
about
to say about them.
That's the same thing he's saying. Do you know who Roy Hachimura is? Probably
yes, I
not.
do. Yes.
Well, yeah, now because he's on the Lakers.
He was a high pick in the draft. So like,
do you know how good he's been?
In his career, probably not that good because he's been on the Wizards. They're not good. But I'm not going to continue to argue about it. It's fine. Brendan, what's yours?
My biggest takeaway from the Shaq thing is I don't really care.
It's
I don't really care about Shaq. I get it, and I understand it from both sides.
Like it's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It just sucks.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Because I like the NBA a lot.
I do understand from both sides. I understand that analysis should be better about what they do, and I also understand that it's Shaq, so you kind of give them the pass.
The problem is, and this is my
even
last
fucking
point
Gronk is on fucking Fox's cast. Like
the problem
is
basketball is not as dependent on a whole team as football is. Whereas a whole one player making a mistake loses you the game.
That's a good point.
Basketball isn't. If you're not talking about Bradley Beal, you're not talking about the Wizards.
I'll give you a point.
That's my
cool.
argument.
That's fine. Okay, but it
is bad
from a marketing standpoint.
But I want
the NBA to have more credibility, especially with the color.
I also think the NBA has people like that, and Shaq isn't one of them. I want to see Shaq talk shit about Charles because he's not as good as him.
My last call is going to be short, sweet, to the point. Izzy versus Pereira. My favorite fighter is back already. I thought it was kind of crazy that this was announced so soon. I didn't think that they needed to announce whichever UFC event this is. I think it's like 4 months away.
They're announcing we're in the quarter 2 watch zone.
Yeah, but it still is. Usually they'll wait a little bit longer.
You know why?
But
you know why they announced this?
Well, hold on. I'll get to it. But I just don't want people to sleep. A lot of people are just counting Izzy out because he got knocked out. He looked pretty fucking good. He won 4 of those rounds. Pretty. At his worst, he won 3 of them.
Yeah.
Definitively, and he has been so great. I think bias. He's my favorite fighter again.
Yeah.
I think he's been so great since this. I love that he went on Flagrant and said he does not care if he loses this fight. His only goal will be to fight him again. He will fight Pereira until he wins.
Well, yeah, he doesn't chase him like Pereira chased him.
Yeah. But he says even if if they both retire, he said he will show up at his house, knock on his fucking door, and he will beat this man. He will attempt to fight this man.
He sounds like somebody who's lost to him so many times.
I get it, and like I just love that mentality, and like it's made me like Izzy a little bit more.
So we know how that fight went. My thing is that like don't get yourself trapped. Like you have the.
Well, Pereira kicked the leg and it fucking.
It doesn't. I was going to say
he's agile enough to get away from the cage though.
Yeah,
Whenever he got up against the cage, it was kind of done.
The equalizer is that power, dude. Izzy doesn't have that power.
Yeah, but Izzy kind of incorporated with his game. You know, he fought Jan Blachowicz. He was able to get down on the ground and kind of defend himself, but like get into that game.
That's why he lost that fight was because he got put on his back. The problem with Izzy is his game's predicated.
I'm saying like if he's able to expand on the game he tried with Jan Blachowicz, maybe he can implement that with Pereira because he's just a kickboxer.
The better fight that you're pointing at for your point, is Martin Vettori. Is that second Vettori fight?
Okay. Yeah.
Because that was the one where Vettori got him down multiple times, and not only did he stuff takedowns, he was able to get back up to his feet where he couldn't with Izzy.
That's purely defense. I'm saying, like, make that a part of your offensive game.
Yeah, he needs to. That's what he's going to have to do to equalize it. But
Dustin went back to his BJJ roots with Chandler.
Yeah.
Get into that and, like, make that a part of your game. You could definitely beat Pereira.
My problem is Pereira is so damn big, dude.
He is.
That is the last place that Izzy wants to be.
I feel like he has the advantage.
I'm scared.
I think
it scares me because I don't see. This isn't an Usman-Leon fight where Usman has the roadmap. Like, I feel like Pereira's just got the equalizer is who has the power, and that's Pereira.
I believe in Izzy, though. But if you want to do your last take on the Izzy thing, on why they're announcing it, and then go to your last call.
They are putting out as much good press as they can to get over the Dana White situation.
It makes sense.
That's the whole reason.
They're probably going to be lining up some of their best events in a couple years.
Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. They announced another fight for Valentino Shevchenko. Cyril and John.
That's in March.
Merab and Peter Yan.
We got 2 months.
Merab Dvalishvili and Peter Yan. Like they're.
And that was also the other reason I didn't want to get like too deep into this Izzy Pereira fight, because we're going to cover it before and after the fight actually happens.
It's just you have to announce it now to get all the eyes off of the bad egg at the UFC right now, which is Dana White.
It'll be there in the background, but it's not.
The only reason it's crazy because the slap boxing should have taken a fucking hit because of just the situation, and it's only doubled every time it's came on the viewers. So it's, but that's why they're doing it.
Thank you, Charlie, for that one. I don't know if y'all watch Critical on YouTube, but he was big into like covering those slap fights.
Yeah,
kind of popularized.
Well, he's been doing this since 2015 because Dana saw one in Russia and was like, "Holy fuck, this is." He felt the same way he did when he watched his first UFC fight. That's what he said.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna go into my point is people are acting like I don't know. I think Mahomes is the most slept on best quarterback of all time, if that makes any sense. Where
he's getting a lot of contention with the arguments, like
what he does.
There's people lining up to throw someone in the ring for best player in the league,
and they're doing it with Burrow right now. Burrow is great, but I'm just gonna do the 3 years. I'm gonna do the first 3 years.
It's not even close.
I'll do the first 3 years. It's fucking bad.
Not even close.
So, to put it in perspective, the Burrow's first 3 years, he has 11,744 yards and 82 touchdowns and 31 interceptions. That's 3 seasons. In Mahomes' first 3 seasons starting, it was 13,868 yards, 114 touchdowns, and 23 interceptions. Not to mention a 5,000-yard season, a 50-touchdown season, an MVP, and a Super Bowl MVP. Now, the reason I'm saying this is Burrow is great. But what Mahomes has done is the greatest start to a quarterback career that has ever happened. Yeah. And it's not close.
And you even have Brady in his second year.
And you even have Brady in his second year winning a Super Bowl. There is no one who has started their career like that. And that's just the 3 years, because everybody wants to compare stats, so let's compare stats to when they're playing.
He's in his, fourth Super Bowl? Or third? He's in his third Super Bowl.
He's in his third Super Bowl in 5 years.
Yeah.
What he has done is the greatest quarterback to have ever started their career ever.
The thing is that, like...
Never been a quarterback start great.
Here's a point that... who was it? I think it may have been Nick Wright. Nick Wright made it, or I don't know who made it. Anyways, there's a generation of Kansas City fans that are growing up right now that have never experienced like their team not in an AFC championship. Same deal with the Patriots. Like an entire generation that grew up with fucking 10 straight AFC championships.
And to put it in perspective, we give Mahomes the same time that Brady did. He's going to destroy all of Brady's
He'll pick you apart
records.
From the pocket. There's not much.
Not even that. The records, the yards, touchdowns, wins.
I hope that's
Mahomes
the case. He's been more prone to injury. Brady had the fucking knee
his injuries were all ACLs.
Yeah.
He tore his ACL twice.
Yeah, and he never had the mobility to where it was like a big deal. But like Mahomes had like the ankle injury and he had the knee the kneecap. Whereas like
that's another thing I didn't even factor in is rushing totals and stuff like that. But I don't want to do that.
I don't care about that stuff because the thing is the passing is what you come for whenever. Or that's what you go into every game looking for.
And Mahomes is just the greatest quarterback to ever start his career.
Eagles, Chiefs, Super Bowl. We're going to talk about it more next week. We got the Pro Bowl. We're going to be catching up on a bunch of NFL stuff. We're going to have a lot of cool topics. And we're going to give our picks for the Super Bowl next week. Don't want to do it this week just because there's a week in between. We want to kind of sit on it and figure out what we want to do for our analysis and stuff. We're going to dig into the Super Bowl a lot. And
it'll basically be a Super Bowl episode.
Pretty much. It's going to be fun. I mean, we're going to talk Pro Bowl too, but it's going to be great. Eagles Chiefs. Got February 13th in Arizona. Let's go, boys. See y'all next week.